Once I'm in the flow of things, I'll be much better. We can do the intro for the 3 straight retakes if I have to. I'll be like, this is Roman.
All right, let's get it. All right. What is up, everybody? It is Ian from Around the Ball, and I have a special guest over here. This is Roman, and I will let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Roman. I am a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of first time on the show, but I love football. I've been watching. My first Steeler game ever was that I ever watched was the Tim Tebow game. Unfortunately, worst game of my life. Cried for about 4 hours. My dad kept telling me there's always next year. But now I enjoy what I like to call the misery and pain and suffering of 10-7. But yeah,
Cool. So I think the best way to start it off, you guys are on a bye, and it kind of gives you a chance, obviously, for the team to get healthy. I know there's some banged up injuries, but starting off 3-1, how do you feel about the way the season has gone so far?
well, if you would have told me after the first two games, like how they would have looked defensively, I would have been like, they're 0-2. I would believe personally that when you allow 32 points against the Jets, and then you at home, you lose handedly. Besides Caleb Johnson, when you lose that way and you're no recovering, I just feel like it's hard. It's hard to be a fan because when you spend over the most amount of money on defense in the league, you expect top 10 minimum defense when you're playing like a bottom five defense. It's very very hard to understand. And then also with running the ball, you pride yourself in running the football. It's hard to believe that the Steelers are essentially bottom four and running the ball. They've only had one game where they've had over 50, really like 60 yards rushing, and that was against the Vikings. And what happens? It's always 2nd and 8, 3rd and long, and it's like then you're forcing a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers to carry you. That's not a recipe for success.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It is kind of interesting when you look at the way the Steelers were built last year, being they didn't, well, really the last couple years, they do run the football so well. But it's like now you've actually got a quarterback back there that can make things happen when the going gets tough. You don't necessarily have to lean on Aaron Rodgers because I know it's the Steelers and it's always like they are a defensive team. But it's got to be nice knowing that you've got a guy that can go out there and score 30 points, to win these football games.
Yeah, I mean, so with Rodgers, like I personally, I won't be afraid to say it. I wanted Fields to stay because I'm like he wasn't the problem, but he also wasn't the solution either. When the guy, as you can tell today, he's 0 in I believe 21 in over 20 points per game. Mind you, this season with the Jets hasn't been his fault. It's been the defense
Mm-hmm.
that's been terrible for him. Because against the Cowboys, I watched the Cowboys game and Dak did whatever he wanted against against them. Like George Pickens over 100 yards, CD Lamb out, and guess what? Their number 2 receiver had over 100 receiving yards as well. Like it's hard to believe when you see the Jets. It's like that. But now with Rodgers, it's like, okay, we can be more aggressive. Okay, now we can take shots down the middle of the field. We can take shots down the field. Now, has it panned out that way? No. It's been more or less medium throws. Like it's been a lot of quick passes, which with Rodgers, that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a Steelers win, you want to have them running over 100 yards a game, and Rodgers anywhere between 20 to 28, 29 pass attempts a game. So, but you want to, and now we can be even more aggressive. But is that ultimately his decision? No, it's more or less a Tomlin decision because with Tomlin, he's the guy that on 4th and inches would rather take a delayed game and punt it back, trusting his defense, than go aggressive with his offense.
Yeah, I mean, that is the Mike Tomlin way, unfortunately. And I mean, obviously it's worked out for him because he's a Super Bowl winning head coach. He has never had a season under 500, which I know that is blown out of proportion a little bit because that's not the goal, right? Like it is because that means you have the chance to make the playoffs. You have the chance to win your division when you're over 500. But it's like that's not the goal. But at the same time, how do you argue with it when it's getting you over 500? Like that is kind of the main goal. If you can get to 9 wins, 10 wins, you're typically a playoff team.
Well, yes and no, because like yeah, with 9-7, I mean like yeah, like, or like when there were 16 games, 9-7 or 9-8, one game over 500 doesn't really mean you're a good
Mhm.
team. It just makes you better than half the teams. But it's like how many of those games are like you're pulling them out? How many of those games that your team's in it and then they lose at the end? Or for example, like like the 49ers, they were in it against, the Jaguars,
Mhm.
but when you have four turnovers, you can't expect to win. Like the Steelers forced five turnovers on the New England Patriots, and they did not. They scored 21 points, five turnovers, and
Yeah.
only showed 21 points for it. Like I'm not saying you have to go down the field every single time and score, but at least come away with something. Whether it's 3 points, even if you go aggressively down the field and say it's 4th and 2 at the 24-yard line and you want to go for it and you miss it, I get that. But at least put some points on the board to show that and have your offense march. And they couldn't, and it's hard to do that especially when teams are 9-8, 10. Like I said, 10. I've lived in 10-7 with Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. I don't want anyone saying Duck Hodges because Duck Hodges was like 2018, 2019, and guess what? Ben came back. It's like
Mhm.
I don't want to hear Duck Hodges. I'll take Rudolph, Trubisky, Pickett, those guys. Duck Hodges, like I love Duck Hodges for what he did. It was a fun time with all those videos and him going up against Buffalo and duck hunting season. Major respect for that guy, but at the end of the day, Ben came back the next year. So that's just
Yeah, I do. So you guys drafted Will Howard. I love this transition actually. From obviously you had Big Ben. I don't know of any Steeler fan that wasn't happy with Big Ben throughout his career. Obviously, when you're a Super Bowl champion, a future Hall of Famer, you can't ask for much more. It's hard to nail a quarterback. It's really hard to nail one for 20 years. And I feel a little bad considering there has been a couple years of what are we doing at QB? You think Kenny Pickett's the answer. Obviously, that didn't work out, but then it's like Mason Rudolph comes in, then you've got Doug Hodges that comes in for a little bit, then Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and it's been like a roller coaster. But you guys did draft Will Howard this past draft, and do you think it's going to work out to where maybe Aaron Rodgers can hand the torch, not necessarily at the end of the year, but maybe at the end of next year, and it could be maybe the next QB for the Steelers?
Yeah, I could personally believe I can see it happening. Of like he's gonna be the starter. Obviously, with college football this year, you kind of disappointed with Arch Manning. You're disappointed with Drew Aller. Like you're disappointed with a lot of these guys. Like even DJ Lagway, for example. Like guy threw 5 picks, and guess what? Against Miami, he struggled. Like 0-13 on third downs. It's like you expect a lot from these college quarterbacks. I think they're already even like Nussmeyer
Mm-hmm.
from LSU. Like it's hard to believe that like you're thinking all these guys are possibly pro ready, and all of a sudden it's like, well, hold on. So now you have now. I do believe the Steelers should give Howard a chance to start. If let's say for example, let's say Rodgers is done next year or after the season, like hey, give Howard the start. I'm like yeah, that's give him a chance to compete
Mm-hmm.
because Rudolph is not the answer. I love Mason Rudolph as a backup quarterback, good quality backup quarterback. But it's just I have no problem with them saying, "Hey, let's give a chance to Will Howard because he's essentially when you look at the height, size. I mean, if you saw John Gruden's, quarterback camp, the
Mm-hmm.
exact same build, like height and size wise, of Josh Allen. I'm not saying he is Josh Allen, but the same height, size, weight, you name it, of of Josh Allen. If that pans out to be the next guy like Josh Allen, I mean, you have to give that. You can't be really upset about that.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think you'd be doing a disservice to the organization and Will Howard if you don't at least give him a chance after Aaron Rodgers is ready to give it up. Which, I mean, the way you guys are going, I don't see Aaron Rodgers retiring after this year. If you guys make the playoffs, and especially if you win a divisional game, I don't see how he walks away, especially if you guys are like right there.
Well, my only issue is the O line. The O line has, like, for example, Roger Jones the first 2 weeks. Yikes, he struggled. But the past 2 weeks, he hasn't allowed a sack.
Yeah.
Now, and then again, like, for example, like the Steelers' offensive line, I feel like it does the same song and dance every year. The first 8 weeks of the season, they can't run the ball. They struggle protecting. I'm not like, and then the back end of it, all of us, or like towards the middle of the season, on the back end of the season, they can actually run the ball. I don't know what it is. It just feels like it's that same song and dance. I'm not saying it is, but when you see them play off, like offensive line wise, it's like, oh, it's like that when you like, it's not. I'm not blaming Jalen Warren, but it's like when he gets the ball, it's like 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. It's hard to like, but except against the Minnesota Vikings, where it's like Kenneth Gainwell averaged what, almost 5 yards a carry. It's like, wow, it's 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 3rd, or it's like versus 2nd down and 9 and third and possibly a complete pass. Now you're facing 3rd and long again. It's like it's brutal.
Yeah,
So
you
like
can't start drives like that. Like
no,
that first run. If you're gonna run the ball on first down, you got to get 4 yards. Like that is the minimum you want to see out of your starting running back. Like it. And I do feel like the Steelers kind of in the past have, with Najee and Warren, it almost looked like Warren was the better back, and then now that Warren's kind of the lead guy, now it's like, why does Gainwell look like the better back?
so my only issue with Jalen Warren, I love Jalen Warren. Like that guy's that explosion off the, like that you want on a team. Like you want
Mhm.
a player like that. The catch 22 is I feel like he's a great back in certain situations. I feel like he's a great receiver, like a good receiving back.
Mhm.
Najee was a little slow. I'm not, and again, it's because he's a bigger guy. But Warren, like you saw him have he broke out of a play for against the Seahawks, went all the way down the field, and he was making guys miss, breaking ankles. And once you give him that open field, he can do that. You want a running back that can find the gap and go. Like when they drafted Caleb Johnson, I'm like, that's a great guy. Like that's a great choice right there because he's a bigger back, and that's a guy that you want to like. He can explode out of the backfield, and he can do essentially whatever he wants when he gets the open field. Warren, I feel like he's a great 3rd down back. I don't feel like I don't feel like he's like every down back. He's not a like I say, like I would say, like a Marion Hampton, he's an every down back. You look at teams like Isaiah Pacheco, really good running back, but is he? But you don't see him having these 20-yard carries a game where he's an every down back.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody got to kind of look at the Chiefs up close and personal Monday night, and you're right. Pacheco, I don't even think he hit 12. I don't even think he had 13 carries, and Kareem Hunt had like 10. Like well, one, they're not running the ball very well, but they're also splitting the usage up. But you're right. They're just not. You're absolutely right with that.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to say like for example, you see Ashton Genty, that's an every down back.
Hmm.
That's a 3-down back that you can turn the ball and give. It's like I say, even though he's a rookie, he's a like for example, Nick Chubb looked like old Nick Chubb against the Ravens, and more or less it's the Ravens defense struggling this year, which is mind blowing to me. I understand that it's 7 yards or like 7 yards, like 7 starters down, but still like you're expecting a lot from that team, and it's hard for me. Like I have a lot of respect for the Ravens, I do, but
Yeah.
when the Texans offense struggling looks like the number one offense in the league, that's a problem. Like Nick Chubb was able to run against them. I mean, like imagine what prime Derrick Henry would do on that defense against that defense on the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah,
And he's still
I was just telling somebody that where it's like you look at the Chiefs and the Texans, for instance, they both played Baltimore and they blew them out, and everybody started saying, "Well, maybe they're back," and it's like, well, no, Baltimore's defense is horrendous, and they also the Texans went up against Cooper Rush, so not only was the defense terrible, the offense didn't do anything either, and they were getting three. Cooper Rush got picked off 3 times, so they were getting good field position. So these teams did look very good against them. And I kind of, sorry, I know we were talking about the Steelers running back room, but it also kind of branches off into just the whole division as a whole because the Steelers look like the cream of the crop. And I don't like they've played good, but it's also that's how bad the rest of the division is. You know, like the Browns defense obviously great. The offense cannot support the I mean, yeah, the offense doesn't have the pieces to support the defense. Uh,
Quinshon, a stud.
he is. I absolutely. You know, they were talking about that he had like 60 yards come back in penalties. He rushed for over 100, like what was it, like 150 yards or something like that, and he would have had another 60 had they not been called for illegal shifts, and they weren't holding. Yeah, they were the pre-snap penalties, which those don't affect the play at all. Really, we're like those 60 yards should have been on his stat line, and that is insane. So they do have that going for them at least. If they can get a lead, that's the problem. You know, they might fall back because their offense doesn't do enough. Baltimore's offense, I don't know, they're okay, but I think because the defense is allowing many points, they can't play the style of offense they want because they're down.
You can't blame, like for example, you can't blame the defense last week and them losing against the Vikings. They
Mm-hmm.
held the Vikings the entire game. All they asked was all they needed to do was essentially turn around and give it to Judkins.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like when you watch some of the play calling, it was questionable. And don't get me wrong, I think I personally think Stefanski should lose his job? No. Main reason why I'm saying that is once Baker left, they traded Baker. They traded Baker
Mm-hmm.
for you know a pick.
Nothing.
It was like they were supposed to get Deshaun Watson. That has not panned out. They had four QBs this year. Kenny Pickett. They're like, no, we don't want you here. They just traded Joe Burrow today.
Mm-hmm.
Not Joe Burrow. Excuse me, Joe Flacco today.
Fine.
So they traded Joe Flacco today, and it's just like now. And then my other problem with Stefanski is it's like he said today, "Oh, we'll see later on in the week about Shador Sanders being QB2." Who's the other QB that's there? Like you start off with four, now you're two.
Right. Yeah. They
And,
have Zappy on the practice squad. But why are you even having a battle between a practice squad QB and your sixth round or fifth round pick?
it's not even about that. It's about it's a dance. It's like
Mm-hmm.
how patient are you willing to be? And is it about the last name Sanders or is it about the talent? Because if it's about the talent, I mean, he played great in his last year in Colorado. But if it's gonna be the last name, I think that's kind of genuinely pettiness. Like
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I don't know. Like if he's got the talent and you give him the chance and he's balling in practice and he's balling in preseason and it's not a matter of if it happens, it's a matter of when.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like
agree with that. And to your point about the Browns defense playing good enough to win, I don't I really couldn't tell. I think that came down to who had the ball last, kind of. And I know the Browns got a shot, but I mean the Vikings played the time of possession perfectly to where they didn't have a chance to come back once they scored that final touchdown. But it's
yeah.
like Dylan Gabriel played a okay game. He didn't do anything great. He made a couple of decent throws. He didn't do any like put the team on my back stuff, and you don't expect that out of your rookie quarterback anyway.
For a rookie debut, that's kind of what you want to see. A guy
Yeah,
throw for 200 passing yards, two touchdowns,
no turnovers.
like no turnovers. That's kind of what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's like okay, like we have now we know what you have. And the one thing about playing rookie quarterbacks, one of the biggest benefits of having that is you have zero tape on them besides preseason, and that's a bunch of backups.
Mm-hmm.
So like, am I worried? Like yes and no, because Tomlin plays pretty well against rookies, but at the same time, the problem with rookie quarterbacks is zero tape is hard to figure them out.
Yeah, I think to your point on that, you don't have the tape on the QB, and you really don't know how the coach is going to coach the game plan with a rookie QB. They could completely go off the wall, like different than how they typically play. Which I don't watch Browns games that often, so I don't know exactly. Are they a run first team on first down, whatever? But they're going to change it up with a rookie quarterback. They're not going to play the same way they did with Flacco.
No, because with Flacco, you have a experienced guy that's been around for God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
And with Dylan Gabriel, he's only been there for a cup of coffee. Same thing with Shador, but it's just like when does it become Shador? It's on like if for example, let's say Dylan Gabriel goes 4-2 in these next 6 games. Shador's not even in the conversation anymore.
Mhm.
Shador, he's just not.
Nope.
But let's say for example, if Dylan Gabriel goes 0-6, like the amount of fire, like you saw what happened with the Giants with Jackson Dart. Like Russell Wilson looked like MVP level throwing for what over 300 yards. Like almost like he played exceptionally well against again, mind you, a terrible secondary in Dallas.
Mhm.
Like they lost unfortunately, but it's just like, and then the following week stunk, and it's just now that Jackson Dart's and like, you saw how like the noise in New York, like oh well and then all of a sudden we want Dart, and then now it's Jackson Dart show.
Yeah, it's one of those winning cures everything kind of deal. And if Browns come out and they play you guys, so I mean, if they can somehow come out and beat you, which, like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. Like you said, Tomlin's really good against rookie quarterbacks. But let's just say for whatever reason they come out and they beat you and they beat Cincinnati the week after, or who do they play after that? I think it is. I think it is a division game. Maybe not. I don't know. But let's just say they win 2 games in a row. Then it's like, okay, maybe we have something. Like again, like you said, you start winning. If he goes even 2-4, and they win a couple games, I think the Shador Sanders conversation isn't going to happen because they'll say, "Oh, it's not Dylan Gabriel's fault we're losing," or the offense needs to run better, but we're going to try to open up the playbook for him. Whatever the case is, I think you get 2 wins in 6 games. You're probably not benching them, but if you lose all 6,
Yeah, it's gonna become a problem, and like I said, when it comes to quarterback play, you want somebody consistent back there that you're gonna get out of. Like a lot of players like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, like quarterbacks like that, like even Matt Stafford. You know what kind of play that you're gonna get from them. You know what to expect. But if Dylan Gabriel, if he plays like he did against Minnesota, which you don't know, I mean that's one game. We don't know what that's gonna look like. It's gonna be hard to see like, okay, we know what we have here. But for example, let's say, I mean, we're already 4 games in the season, and let's say they go 2-2 in these next 2, or like they 2-2 next 4. It's like, do you want to give Shador a chance in the back end of the season? See what okay, we saw what 4 games of Dylan Gabriel. Let's see what 4 games of Shador looks like. And you know what they say, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. But yeah, when you have 2 rookies, it's like if one of them gives you that spark, that fire, you got to go with that. You have to.
yeah, I completely agree with that, and I do think that are you guys still number 2 in the NFL in takeaways?
I believe so. I mean, it's our bye week. I'm not 100% sure, but like you guys are, no one has more than 10, and besides, only one team has more than 10, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. Yeah, we take those. But the reason I said that is because this is really going to be. I don't know what Minnesota went into that game with takeaway wise. I don't know if they're a very good team takeaway wise, but you guys take football away, and I know you guys have some injuries. So I know like Jalen Ramsey's out, right? So
Yeah, practice. He didn't practice today.
okay, so there's a chance that he's not in, and that changes things a little bit for like the turnover perspective. But I mean, if he can scrape out of Pittsburgh without turning the football over, like that's a good sign for them on their side. It'd be a bad sign for you guys not being able to force a rookie to make some mistakes like that. But that would be a good thing for Dylan Gabriel, to get
Yeah.
out of that game without any interceptions.
Well, even fumbling the ball, because
Hmm.
like if you watch, I mean, if you watch Steeler games, you watch them. They always punch the ball.
Hmm.
Especially a guy like T.J. Watt, they are punching the ball every single time. They're going to punch the ball and punch the ball and punch the ball. Like on the first carry of the game, Ramondre Stevenson fumbled.
Hmm.
Like, and that's what, and they always punch the ball. Like it's when it comes to them, like, does Terrell Austin want to do disguised coverages, or are you gonna be like, hey, he's a rookie, go get him? What do you want to do? Like, in my personal opinion, I'm a guy that loves Blitzburg. I'm a guy that's like, go get him. Like,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
comfortable in the pocket, especially a rookie quarterback, and the other backup's a rookie, and you all of a sudden it's like, okay, like how do we get a rookie out of his own head? Like, hey, just do we get the ball out quick? Do we need some play action boots to get him out of the pocket so they're not seem like they're coming all at you? Like, how do you want to play it?
Yeah, I mean that is they'll figure it out. They had a whole week, they had a whole week off. So they should be going into that game prepared because they knew who the starter was going to be. It's not like they announced it today. They've had
They
all
got
last week and next week to get it.
yeah, they got Joey Porter back, and then
That's
Jalen
that's
Warren's
big.
supposed to be playing this week as well. So defense is getting healthy, but at the same time, when your best corner and Jalen Ramsey's out, and then you also have Calvin Austin out. It's now I'm excited to see what they do without Calvin Austin, to be honest, because I'm a guy that they were talking about Roman Wilson throughout training camp, like, and we haven't seen much of him in the regular season. So I would love to see them go get Roman Wilson out in open field and see what he does. Does he make the plays that everyone was talking about in training camp? He looked
Hmm.
well in the preseason. Now I think at this point you got to see what he's got. You know,
Yeah,
I love Calvin Austin though.
yeah. I actually like your receiving core a lot. I know there was like a lot of speculation about needing a wide receiver two going into the year, and who knows? Maybe that is true. Maybe you do still need a wide receiver two. But from what I saw out of Roman Wilson out of college, I really like him coming out of college. He was he was somebody I wanted the Jaguars to draft. And then obviously Calvin Austin, when he gets the ball in space, like he's just electric. When he gets those opportunities.
Yeah, with Calvin Austin, I mean, especially in the slot, like if you give him one on one in the
Hmm.
slot and he has a go ball, it's with him it's I would say 50-50. It's not because it's a 50-50 route with him, it's just like if he burns his man off the line and he's gone, you have to give him a chance. I mean, we kind of saw that with Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett did that with him against the Raiders. Of Kenny Pickett threw it down the middle of the field. Calvin Austin was wide open for a touchdown.
Hmm.
So Calvin Austin, you turn on the afterburners, and then you've seen him this year against the Jets make a big catch. You've seen him against the Patriots on that back shoulder fade where Rodgers went on that touchdown that sealed the game. Like he can, when on one, he can win his battles. It's all about, can you be more consistent like that? Because I personally I would love to see them get a wide receiver too. Will they? Knowing the Steelers, probably not, because they don't. It's hard for me to believe that. I mean, they had George Pickens. I mean, when you saw an offense like that with George Pickens, DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers, you're thinking, and even Pat Fryer, you're thinking that's gonna be a hard team to cover. Now, like
Yeah.
you said, like you don't know, you don't know what they're gonna do with wide receiver too. At this point, you know what you have. If you feel confident, you're gonna run it. I'm with Omar Khan. I love the aggressiveness that he's doing, with taking the chances.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that was a big chance. It was a chance because of the money involved, but obviously DK Metcalf's been a breath of fresh air there. I mean, him and Rodgers have a connection like you saw with Big Ben and Antonio Brown. Like they're just on the same page. They,
I don't know if I don't know for that level. That was special.
yeah, I just mean like Aaron Rodgers obviously trusts them. And
Yeah,
obviously, with the Jets, there was a lot of talk about him not trusting his receivers. They're not on a good same page. You saw with Garrett Wilson and stuff. But him and DK have come in, and Aaron Rodgers throws the ball where DK is supposed to be, and DK's there and makes the catch. If there's somebody on him, it doesn't matter. He's catching the ball.
yeah, like one-on-one coverage. I mean, it's hard. How do you guard somebody like that? Like that muscle, that much speed. He ran 20, 22, or 23 miles per hour down the sidelines on an 80-yard touchdown. How do you catch up to something like that? Like
You
how do you
can't.
guard somebody? You can't, like, you can't. It's hard to, like, for example, how do you? It's hard to guard somebody like that. I'm trying to get like, even like, how do you guard Jamar Chase? How do you guard Justin Jefferson? You can't guard them. You can't.
Yeah,
Like they're good.
yeah. You hope you slow him down, but there's no. I mean, Jamar Chase had like 15 catches against us. There's just some guys you just can't stop.
No, and it doesn't matter how well you like. It doesn't matter if it's man coverage, zone. You can double them. You can put your best corner on them and following them around the entire game. Doesn't mean Doesn't mean your corner's going to win. Doesn't mean your coverages are going to win. How many times do you see busted coverages and
Hmm.
missed assignment and the wide receiver not only goes off but takes advantage of that? I mean Jordan Addison had a busted coverage first game back, and bro, he ran what 80 yards down the sideline.
Hmm.
Like Jordan. I'm not saying Jordan Addison's like a player, like a top tier player like that, but at the same time, when it's hard to guard those elite of the elites. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter. It's like, can you cover Randy Moss? No. Can you cover Calvin Johnson? No. You can't. Can you cover Jerry Rice? No. Nobody can cover those guys.
Yeah, and if you find a way to do it, somebody else is open. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Like, for example, if Brian Thomas doesn't drop so many passes, how hard is it to guard Brian Thomas?
trust me, I know, I know, I
Like,
know.
and I will. I saw the play down. Like when I saw down the last drive, Trevor Lawrence taking that deep shot to him. It's just like you're like, okay, and then it's just like you see Brian Thomas is like, okay, please. You're hoping he does, because it's like he's had a rough couple of games, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like Marvin Harrison Jr. Like it's all in your head. It's just
Hmm.
like you can't be overthinking that. Otherwise, it's brutal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, between wide receivers and DBs, like their jobs obviously are to go out there, guard the guy in front of them, or make the guy in front of them miss. But that whole like catching the football is, I don't know what it is about it. It's a confidence thing. Like if you go out there thinking and that's why those are the guys that talk the most shit. Like because they're the most confident people on the field.
Yeah, they are. Like for example, can you guard AJ Brown? Can you? Can you really? You see how big that guy is? He's a unit. He's a tank, and you expect like like corners to be like, oh, I can lock him down. It's like, yeah, it can be an elite corner and shut somebody down. You've seen it with Jalen Ramsey when he was a Jaguar. You seen it but at the same time, you saw him in the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Like, mind you, he didn't play all that great,
Yes.
but still, like, it doesn't matter how good your corner is. Like, for example, Derek Stingley Jr. is a great corner. But when you have him go up against a guy like AJ Brown,
Yeah.
oof, you're asking. Like, I'm not saying he can't do it, but you're asking for a tall task to guard somebody like that.
I completely agree with that. Um, to move on to the next team. So we talked about the Browns, we talked about the Steelers. Let's go ahead and talk about Baltimore a little bit and what they're struggling and they're getting rid of players. I know that it's only been one, but I mean he was
Oh,
their leading. Yeah, he was their leading pass rusher last year.
but he hasn't done anything this season. In 5 games, he has 5 tackles, no sacks.
That's
He
true.
hasn't like Odafe last year, was one of their key players, and it's just like, and now all of a sudden he's not. Like for example, last year, they had Kyle Hamilton that like the first few games of the year he didn't play in the right spot, and then they all of a sudden let's move him back. Oh man, they're the best defense in the league.
Hmm.
Now again, like is it scheme that changed? What changed over the past year? It's not age. Most of those guys are. I'm as a Ravens fan, as a Ravens fan, you should be happy that they got rid of Brandon Stevens. Like he was
Hmm.
awful. Like now he's on the Jets and he still isn't great. Like you should be like now, but it's like now you have a D lineman that's out for the I believe out for the year. I'm not 100% sure, but when you have the defense play like that, can Lamar Jackson save you? If you have the worst defense in the league, can Lamar Jackson save you? Can that? Can
Yeah, I mean,
because I believe
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
good.
You
I was
got
gonna
it.
say when you have a guy like Jackson, can he save you with the worst ranked defense? It's like asking. It's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like asking Patrick Mahomes, "Hey, can you lead us to 40 points a game with the worst defense?" And it's like you guys can't stop a nosebleed. You can't. You get for you guys can't tackle. You look again. Texans offense. I was struggling. You guys made them look like the greatest offense in the league last weekend. It's hard. It's hard to understand. It's mind boggling to me that a Harbaugh defense is last in the NFL. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
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 it.
out of nowhere. I mean, everybody expected Baltimore to be one of the best teams in the NFL again because they didn't lose
Yeah,
any, but they didn't lose big pieces. You know, they Derrick Henry. Granted, I saw the regression coming with Derrick Henry because it's bound to happen at the running back position. It's bound to happen.
It's always a matter of when. It's always like same thing with the
Exactly.
receiver. Same thing with the receiver position. You can be a fast wide receiver, but when you get up there in age, you don't have the same explosion in the step. Like you don't have the same fire that you have. Like I'm not saying the fire isn't there anymore, but you have to be when you get older. You have to be able to do something else. Like okay, I'm not as fast. Let me be like let me work on my route running. Like I may not outrun you, but if I can get you and I can free myself, I'm gonna go get you. Like
Yeah. Yeah, they I mean to your point about the teams being able to score, like asking Lamar Jackson with the worst ranked defense to score 40 points. That's essentially what Burrow had to do last year, and you saw how that went. They missed the playoffs because of it.
well, and then but with Burrow at the same time, like Burrow has no offensive line to protect him. The Broncos rushed three against
Yeah.
and they still sacked him.
Hmm.
They still well I believe I'm like they still sacked him. Like how do you guys I don't understand like how like if you have no offensive line, like receivers you like if you can develop receivers you can develop receivers. Like if you have no offensive line and no defensive line, it's hard to, or even a good secondary. Like it's hard to win. Like pass rushers, I mean, it's if your secondary can cover pass rushers is that you have to get creative in pass rushing, whether it's bringing an extra guy or something, doesn't matter. But when you can't block and you guys can't cover, how do you expect to win? I
Yeah, I
don't know.
mean,
Like
the NFL, you build through the trenches. Like that's kind of been something that is kind of slept on by some teams for whatever reason. I mean, if you want to take a good example, I'm a Jags fan, so I'm biased, but I've watched it every year, and we say every year you got to protect Trevor. You got to protect Trevor. He's the least sacked quarterback all year, and they're 4-1 now because of it. You know, and I mean they've made more than just that's not the only change they made, but Trevor's staying upright. Their running game is working now. Like Travis
and
Etienne,
number one in the league in rushing.
yes, exactly. It's it changes everything. Because if you can run the football, you can control the game. If you can run the football, you can pass. If you can pass, you can run. Like it's a domino effect. If you're on the field for 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes at a time each drive, your defense is getting a rest. So even if they're not that good, they're rested at least. So they're going against tired people.
And the catch 22 with Trevor that people are going to go as like for example, jogging on the field, you see the stats pull up, completing 58% of his passes. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Jaguars are number one in drops this year.
They are.
And how many like what would Trevor Lawrence? I'm not saying obviously complete every pass. He's obviously not, but how much it will be from 58% to 67% if even half of those are caught?
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, he's throwing picks every game. It's like, yeah, there's sometimes where he doesn't make the right read. There's gonna be passes
Mm-hmm.
where you're like, what are you thinking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you watch a lot of his passes. It's like it's hard. You can't put it all on Trevor Lawrence for what it is. Like I feel like last year. I mean, you know, like Aziz Al-Shire, like with that hit, brutal,
Mm-hmm.
and then again, like you guys couldn't protect Trevor last year,
Exactly.
and it's hard to win games when you can't protect your quarterback. If you can't protect your quarterback, and like I said on the offense side and on the defense side, you can't cover anybody. It's how do you expect to even win? Like I said, like 5, 6 games. It's hard. It's hard to win like that.
Yeah, protecting the QB is a huge issue for the Bengals, and I don't know. I do understand they needed to go a different direction from Browning. That's a failed. They cannot keep throwing Jake Browning out there, and I know if he played the Jaguars every week, he'd be Tom Brady. I mean, realistically, Jake Browning is the Jaguars' kryptonite, and I say that in good humor, but it's sad actually that that's the case. But they've announced already. They traded for him this morning. And
Jeff White
they've already announced he is the starter for this upcoming Sunday against the Packers. He hasn't even practiced with them yet.
throwing 6 picks in 2 games. It's like I understand the aggressiveness, but again, how do you expect a guy like Jake Browning to go in there the rest of the season and play like that? I mean, you saw how like last year, you should have never cut me. It's like,
Mm.
dude, there's a reason why you're number two and not number one. You're not like I believe me. Confidence is one of the things you need as an NFL quarterback. If you believe like I can go in every single game, you should want that.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you got to manage expectations. You can't be like, I'm going to throw 5 touchdowns every game, or I'm gonna throw for 320 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. It's like, dude, you have to understand how to win games. Like sometimes you're going to face an elite defense, and you're not going to be able to throw for 250 yards. Like, good luck. Like, you think you're that good? Go up against us and see what you're made of.
Yeah, they I am interested to see Joe Flacco on the Bengals, mainly because we talked about their offensive line not being very good, but Joe Flacco is a vet, and you're giving him Jamar Chase and T Higgins. So I don't think it's going to be a better team than with Browning, in my opinion. I think it will be better than with Browning. Maybe not week one, like, well, week five, you know what I mean, his first game out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it should be better. Like I said, they've got a brutal schedule too. They've got like a top 10 hardest schedule coming up because they play the Packers, they play the entire AFC North, they play the entire North, they play the
Yeah.
Bills. Like, they've got a lot of tough games on their schedule. So Flacco's got to cut out for him, but at least they got a vet that's not going to do too much. Joe Flacco's not going to go out there and try to throw a 60-yard bomb because he
But what
thinks something's open.
what Flacco are you getting though? That's the question. You don't know what you're getting with Flacco. You saw him last year, like the playoff, like towards the end, balling. This year, like against Detroit, he struggled badly. So what are you getting from Joe Flacco is the question. The rest of the way, are you going to get if you get decent game out of him? He can win you a couple games. Absolutely. Am I as a Steelers fan? Do I think that's a great choice? No. Joe Flacco's
No.
beaten me before. Am I a fan of them beating me with Joe? He beat me when he was in Indianapolis Colts. How do you think that made me feel? Not great. Okay. Like, I didn't want him. I don't like going up against him. I'd rather him stay home.
Yeah,
But I have a lot of respect for Flacco, though. He's a good
I
quarterback.
I am a little curious on the decision for that, only because, I mean, thinking about it from like around the league, who would have been a better choice? The fact that he's been in the AFC North for so long, I do think that gives him a little bit of an edge because they do have what, five, have they haven't played a single AFC North opponent yet, so they have six AFC North games coming up, and two of those are going to be on the team he was just on. So I do think it
Yeah.
gives you that advantage. But it's like, who else would you have preferred if you're a Cincinnati Bengal fan?
In my opinion, how do you not call New York for Russell Wilson? Like, how do you like? I don't. It couldn't have been that much to go get him. I mean, I understand
Yeah.
if you want like you want him as a backup quarterback because like at the end of the day, Russell Wilson, again, he can still play, but and then if you're the Bengals, do you want to go call for Jameis Winston? Do you want to call for Jameis Winston? Do you like me personally? I would have called for Russell Wilson because that's a guy that he can win you a game. He can definitely with 2 minutes on the field, like, oh, we need to go get three. He can be mobile. I'm not saying he needs to scramble and be like all shifty and stuff like that as a quarterback. But how do you excuse me? But how do you not go call New York for Wilson?
That's true. And I'm curious if in the next couple days or weeks, if we'll get some insight on maybe they did try. I don't think the Giants are like wanting to hold on to him because they do have Jameis behind Dart, and it is Dart season officially. I don't think they pulled Dart at this time.
No,
I
no.
think they die on that hill. The coaching staff might all get fired at the end of the year, but I think they die on the Jackson Dart hill. Um, and even if whatever reason they decided not to, I think they go with option three, Jameis Winston, because they know they saw Russell Wilson. They wouldn't have pulled him if they liked what they saw.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson still like. How much of it do you blame on Russell Wilson though? Like that's the question. Like he struggled, but is he the
Yeah.
main reason why he lost? Was he the reason why they lost against Dallas? Yeah, because that pick was bad. That
Mm.
interception was bad. But the other quarters, like, was he the like? your defense couldn't play well.
Yeah,
Like I would have gone with Russell Wilson because it's just like he's experienced. I feel like he's a better quarterback now than Flacco. Like doesn't mean Flacco's by any means bad, but at this point in the game, I rather personally would have called Russell Wilson. There's or maybe hell. I mean, maybe at the time you're thinking about it. Like, do you call for Shador? Like I'm not saying I know that obviously a fifth round pick over like why are you talking so much about a fifth round pick quarterback? I get that I understand that, but when when do you realize like maybe we shouldn't get like an old quarterback? You know?
yeah, it needs somebody mobile if you're not going to have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
So the AFC North, obviously, we kind of wrapped up all the teams. Honestly, we talked about all of them a little bit at least. So if there's
Yeah.
anybody watching, you can't get mad at us. We've talked about them all. So, but I think what a good thing to do now would be to kind of look at the schedule for this week. So it's week 6, right? Yeah, week 6.
Sure.
I've got them all pulled up, so I got the schedule pulled up here. And we'll kind
Okay.
of go through. So we can tell a little bit here. You have a pick'em league at your work, right?
Oh
And,
yeah.
and you're
I'm
doing
like,
pretty good.
yeah, I'm second place. I think my manager has 56 right, and I have like 55 right. Last week, out like too many upsets. Like I was in
Yeah,
first place and then second. But I was like watching some of these games, like the fact that am I a fan of what I saw with Arizona? No, no, not at all. Am I a fan of what happened with? You're good. Like
yeah.
am I a fan of
I obviously as a Jaguar fan, I hate to see the Titans win, but what the
forget
hell? What the hell?
no? Am I a fan of what happened with Cam Scatterboo against the Saints? No, like I thought the Giants would go in there and win. It's nothing against the Saints or Spencer Rattler, but I felt like Jackson Dart was kind of like, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this, and then it was like, okay, maybe not. Like I believe the Giants play Thursday night. If I'm correctly, they play. I forget what they play, but
Yeah, we'll go through. We're gonna go through this, and we're gonna kind of give projections, and you can do score if you want. You can do score if you'd like. If you don't want to do score, you don't have to.
yeah,
Um,
it's equals at the Giants.
yes. So Eagles are going to New York to play
Yep.
or New Jersey, I guess, to play the New York Giants.
No, like why are you? I don't understand, man. Like the Eagles are so good, and yet they're talking about panic in Philly. Like
Yeah.
what? Why is there panic? Like, oh, AJ Brown wants out. Let me ask you, Ian. Let me ask you this: what kind of receiver doesn't want over 7 catches, 8 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown or two? Name me a receiver that doesn't want that. If name me a receiver that doesn't want that.
Yeah, it's okay to be winning and to also be upset that you're not the reason you're winning.
Yeah,
Like
like
that's okay.
football games and titles, but at the same time, it's like your numbers do speak for themselves. Like, were you really that good?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the wide receiver position is very stat oriented when it comes to almost every conversation about a wide receiver, whether you're talking about the top guy, a Hall of Famer. They pull up stat. They don't pull up win losses. They don't talk about Super Bowl rings that often. They might say, like, did he get a ring? Yes or no. But they talk about the
How many
stats.
how many seasons did he have over 100 catches? How
Hmm.
many how many seasons of over 1,000 yards? Like what was his yards after catch? How many yards at catch? How many touchdowns did he have a season? It's never like, oh, he had 5 rings.
Yeah.
Like you look at Edelman, no one's looking at Edelman and saying like, "Oh, well, Edelman like had all this great years." Like Edelman was a great player in New England, but you're not going to sit here and how many rings did he win with Brady? Too many? Like a
Mm,
lot of rings with Brady, and
yeah.
like,
I think
well,
4.
he was the best wide receiver of all time. Yeah, it's because it's like he wasn't that selfish guy. I'm not calling AJ Brown selfish, but he wasn't like the selfish guy of like, oh, I need to have 10 catches, 100 some yards, and 2 touchdowns every game, regardless of. Nah, man, you had Gronk, you had Wes Welker, you had Danny Amendola. I mean, you had all these guys that you had Randy Moss. I mean, that's Randy Moss, but still, like you can't guard that. But how many guys could you just like I said, like, and then it's like, well, AJ Brown and Saquon and Jalen had a meeting like an intense, like had a meeting with each other. I'm like, look, if a wide receiver is gonna make a scene, like, do you like how does the talent overwhelm the diva-ness out of it? Like for example, like Pittsburgh trades their receivers, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, like Antonio Brown. I believe they traded Martavis Bryant. Like, how many of those guys are like your attitude? Like, we love you here, but like, nope, we don't want you. And like you said, George Pickens, they traded George Pickens because he's a problem. Like, for example, like you're not going to trade a guy. Like, does AJ Brown cause all those problems? Does he? Because in my opinion, he doesn't. Like, yeah, maybe, yeah, of course, dude. He wants to be the guy. Like, of course, he wants every wide receiver wants the ball thrown. Every
Mhm.
running back wants to carry the team for 20 carries, 25 carries, however many for 200 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Like,
Yeah, it's not
what kind
wrong.
of player?
It's not wrong to want that.
Yeah, and then even quarterbacks, like I want to be able to no, you're not winning games throwing 45 times and 50 times a game for 400 yards. Like, that's not a recipe for success. But the fact of the matter is, you're not gonna. Every player wants to be that guy that, like, for example, you know how much I would love to see TJ Watt. Let's say, like, how many snaps does he play? Let's say 50 snaps. I would love to see him get 50 sacks. Like, come on, man. Like, TJ Watt
Yeah.
knows he's not gonna get. Yeah, all these guys know that, But if you want to win, I get it. You want to win.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, the one thing I'll add to that is the wide receiver position really sucks when you don't get the ball. Out of all
Oh,
the
I can.
positions, like you're just running. Like that's all you're doing is running. At least
Yeah,
like linemen are blocking somebody, running backs might go for a chop block or something. Quarterbacks at least handing the ball off, touching the ball. Wide receivers just running.
and then imagine like how many times of a passing game, like you run a different route. How many times? It's just like you look over, ball's going another direction. Oh, ball's coming your way. Turns out it's actually like maybe looking in your direction, but it's actually like let's say a dump off. It's just
Yeah.
like, man, like how many times do I got to run a slant or a post or you name it?
Or it's
And
overthrown.
yeah,
Like I ran a crispy route and it's fucking overthrown.
oh,
I don't know why my mic just randomly cut off like that. That was weird.
it
Uh,
did.
yeah, but you're a wide receiver running a route and it looks like the ball's coming your way and then it's overthrown. Like
Yeah.
you played it perfectly, yet it's overthrown.
I remember the sound bite. Justin Jefferson, just throw the ball, Kirk. Just throw the ball, Kirk. Just throw it. Like, so yeah, like of course you want the ball. And now it's like, where do they go from here offensively? Are they going to be more of a pass team or a run team? I think they should be more of a run team because you saw what Saquon did last year, and yeah, your guys are obviously a year older, but they're not like back end old guys that can't keep up anymore. You know, with when you have Saquon Barkley back there, the best running back in the league, one of the best, like a top 10 player in the league, and you're sitting here telling me, well, we're just gonna pass it now. It's like,
I know.
that's not how that works. You have to be able to do something. And like you said, and a lot of people are like, well, they haven't established much. They haven't done anything. It's like, if you're good at both, you don't need to be great. Like, if you're good at both, you can establish one or the other. You don't need to do both. You don't need to be passing 300 and running for 100. It's like, you're not, like, if you're good at one or the other, it doesn't. And every game's different. Every game's different. Other
Yeah.
week, every game's. And if you can run the ball and they stop it, and you can throw the ball, you have a chance to win. Like, and if your offense can't, and if you're, let's say, for example, like, good coverage on field, but you've been able to run the ball all game long. For example, like I said, Judkins against Minnesota, you've been able to like run, like, go get it, man. You if you're averaging 5 to 6 yards a carry,
Yeah, why
I'm
would
running
you
the
do
ball.
anything? Yeah, why would you do anything different?
Oh well, because obviously they're not doing anything, crazy to win. It's like, you guys are
Yeah.
4-1. You're on pace to win how many games now?
And the game you lost at what I mean, you lost in the final minute. Like
Yeah,
they should have won that game realistically, but
yeah. Like, see how, like, they didn't play great against Tampa though. The Philly didn't play great against
mhm.
Tampa. Like,
They got lucky they
here's
got off to a lead so early.
Emeka Ibegbu, had a great catch between two defenders. Ibegbu, yeah, Emeka had like caught a ball and ran 70 yards, and then guess what? Bucky Irving ran down the field for another 70 yards. It's like, but again, like when you see teams like Tampa, they're Tampa like with they can do whatever they want. They can run or
Mhm.
pass the ball. They can do it because when you have Bucky Irving back there, you don't know, like he can explode like that. Same thing with Baker. Baker was the reason why they beat Seattle this past week.
Yeah, hell of a game by both of them, by the way. They,
Sam Darnold with a bad pick at the
I
end, but
know, and you know what sucks about that is he really played a perfect game up until that point. And
he had like four
yeah,
the entire game.
4 passing touchdowns, and really it wasn't. It just hit the helmet of the lineman. Like it was. I don't know if the guy was open or not, but I mean, he
Well,
really played a perfect game.
it happens when you throw when you expect to throw a ball a certain way, and it just doesn't come out right, or maybe that you think that there's a gap right there you can like slice it through, and turns out oh that whole close up quick because as a quarter, I mean we've seen it where quarterbacks just like a ball slips like again with kind of like going back to Trevor here like
Mhm.
Trevor over the goal line pop yeah, smacked out of his hand like with quarterbacks it's hard to you know it's hard. Like,
Yeah,
because that's the toughest position in football. Like, where you have to everything's timed. Like,
yeah,
I know if I throw it a certain time, if I throw it a second late, it's picked, or a second late, it could be tipped or intercepted. If I hold on to it for another second, I'm sacked. If I step up and I take a wrong step, I'm hit. Like, that's why the quarterback's position is a hard position in football.
yep. And that's why they get paid so much.
Yeah, I'm not running back though.
Yeah, not running back. So,
Who
so
do you?
do what?
Who's your pick? Eagles or Giants?
It's Eagles.
If the if the Eagles lose, there should be. Oh, I can only imagine the headlines on Friday morning.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's in New York, but I don't. The Eagles have they get hot, and I don't think the Giants can keep up for those period. Like the Eagles could, they might not do it till the end of the game or beginning of the game, whatever. But they can score 3 drives in a row, and that would be enough to beat the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, you can't keep the defense out there for too long, otherwise, they're gonna start bleeding. But yeah, like the Giants, like I said, and with Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo, I mean, you have two rookies out there going, so it's hard to be like, yeah, let's go get like we're gonna win these games. So like these are gonna be growing pains like for New York. And do you now the question is after this year, how do they how they finish? Are you bringing back Dable? Are you bringing back the GM? Like, what do you do from there if you're New York? Because I like that one. Like I do.
Yeah, I do too.
I like him. Do I think he's the answer? I mean, he won a playoff game with Daniel Jones in Minnesota. Like it's so. What do you and again they picked Saquon over or they picked Daniel Jones over Saquon, which is mind blowing. But so what do you do from there? That's the question. What do you do from there? Like I just don't know because it's I feel like Dabble isn't the answer, but I feel like at the same time, how much of it is it his fault? When does everything because you can blame a lot of things on the coach. You can blame
Yeah.
Stefanski for what the Browns. You can blame John Harbaugh for the defense. You can blame for example Tomlin for aggression. You can blame. Where do you blame Dabble on that? Like, is it what do you what like? Did you ever give him a real quarterback? Because Daniel Jones is like Indiana Indiana Jones. Like I still don't trust him personally. I don't.
No, I don't trust him either. I mean, I've said this from the second they signed Daniel Jones. He is the best quarterback that they have had in since Luck. Realistically,
Well,
like
well, yeah, because I mean, what do they have? They had Flacco, they had Richardson, they had Philip Rivers, they had Matt Ryan, like they had Jacoby Brissett.
yeah, it's
Like
been nothing.
you haven't that's not real. You haven't given real quarterback play.
Yeah, and I know Daniel
You know,
Jones has a really bad reputation of, turning the ball over, stuff like that. That was his only real. He wasn't the most accurate guy. He made some mental mistakes and stuff, but he's in a system that's proven. Steichen is a
I,
great offensive minded head coach.
the problem with Daniel Jones is when when he has to do everything, I feel like that's when he makes the most mistakes because
Mhm.
it's like, oh, I have to run the ball, I have to pass, I have to do everything. It's just like if, and I think that's why he's having so much success in Indiana or Indianapolis, whatever. But because when you have Michael Pittman, you have what I can't remember his name. Like the other wide, like I'm blanking right now. But when you have those like Josh Downs, like and oh, I have a decent O line. Like they can block for me. I'm not forced to feel pressured every play.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, Alex Pierce is one I'm thinking of. Alec Pierce, but like when you have all these guys around you and these people, like you have playmakers, multiple playmakers, you have a decent O line. I mean, you kind of saw the same thing with Gino last year. Like Gino, when he resurrected his
Mhm.
career, saw the same thing with Sam Darnold. When you have these guys that can protect you, you're gonna get decent quarterback play. Baker Mayfield, another example. Ba- like like Baker was what? So Cleveland to to LA to Carolina to Tampa, and boom, all of a sudden, look at him now. You put people in the right system, they can block. Yeah, playmakers. It's hard to hide that talent when you have everything going in the right way for you.
Yeah, and a coach that's playing to your strengths. They're not afraid to let Daniel Jones run the ball a little bit. They're not afraid to hand it off to Jonathan Taylor 20 plus times a game. They've got guys that get open underneath, so he doesn't have to sling it. I mean, he does sling it when he needs to, but he doesn't have to. He's like
And
a
my,
game manager. Perfect.
he is a game. I like. Don't get me wrong. I like Daniel Jones as a quarterback. Do I think he's the answer? No.
Mhm.
Do I think that do I personally believe that they're pretenders? The main reason why I say that is because look who they beat. They lost to the Rams. They should have lost to Denver.
Mhm.
Like, and the other opponents they've won, they're not great. There's not like a significant win, a defiant win. Like, yeah, we went to the stadium and won, or we at home we beat this team. It's like they beat Vegas. Like Vegas isn't good. Vegas is not good. Denver's a good team, but they should have lost to Denver. They lost to the Rams, and it's like, well, if you didn't fumble, well, it's like it doesn't matter. You can make up as much excuses as you want. Win the game. If you're as good as you are, win the game.
Yeah,
Like
I completely agree with you on that because I've been on the. I think the Colts are average. I think they have a good offense, good defense, but I don't think they're like you said. And I can bring it to the Jags. And again, I'm a homer, so obviously I'm biased with some of this, but they went to San Francisco and won that game. Then they came home and beat the Chiefs. And this is the big difference between Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence. And I love this because everybody talks about them too, like they're the same damn QB. And it's
they're
like,
not.
what
They're
did
not. If
Trevor
you watch,
Lawrence do? He put the
if you watch,
team on his back.
yeah, and you know what the difference is though? Like past, and I'm sure you can vouch for this. Past Jags teams would have, oh, like we're down 14-0 to a good team like this. We'll move on to the next. It's like no, like you guys. Not only did you guys come back, you guys. Not only did you guys come back, like Trevor Lawrence fumbled in the end zone. Like he
Mm-hmm.
fumbled the ball when you guys were driving. Guess what? Too much momentum shifts from stuff like that, and then they, like you said, the Chiefs went down the field 97 yards and scored. It's like, man, like what do we have to do here? And I'm like, and you texted, it's gonna get ugly. I'm like, just wait it out. Wait it out because I'm a fan. I'm a guy that likes to believe. I'm a guy that likes to believe that there's always a chance. Like even if it's first quarter, like if you're down 14, I've seen the Steelers come back from. I saw them come down 27-10 against Brock Osweiler at home. You know, and then all of a sudden 14-14. We have a tie ball game here. Devin Lloyd goes 99 yards. This is the best James Harrison. Oh, I'm going to pass rush, drop back. Now it's 21-14. Now, did Parker Washington get blown up for a missed pass interference call? 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
But
that was
when you
bad.
have teams that are resilient, like I said, do you know how hard it is to go into San Francisco and beat the 49ers?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to go. It's like being the Chiefs at home. It's hard, like, when, again, the prime, it's hard to beat LA at home because of how good they are offensively. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
go in Philly and beat Philly. Like, but that's the thing about the Jags though. Like they have that statement win. What statement win do the Indianapolis Colts have. You know,
None. Like I said, I'm on the thing where I think by December we'll probably be able to break away a little bit. And look, I pulled this up. I sent it to the group. Let me pull it up because I think
this
it's
is
important.
this is who they beat. The Miami Dolphins, who stink this year. They beaten the Colts, or they beaten the Broncos that they went off that field goal, even though they missed it, got the penalty, scored. They beat the Titans, who got their first win against Arizona last week, and then they also beat the Raiders.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but what statement win are any of those games? Now later this year they play the Chargers, they play Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh, they play the Chiefs in Kansas City, they play Houston, like they play Jacksonville still. You know, they play Seattle in Seattle, like they play the 49ers at home. Like look, if you look at the opponents, like yeah, there's real tests in there, but you need a defiant win that yeah we went in there and we won, or at home we won. You need that. You need that from You need that from a team.
So I pulled up the strength of schedule. The
Okay.
the Jaguars to end the season, they've played their toughest games already. They still have two more tough ones because they play Seattle this week and they play the Rams the week after. So they have two more
Gotcha.
tough games. But we have the bottom six. We have the sixth easiest schedule remaining, which means we've conquered the hardest part of our schedule and we're 4-1.
Where's the Indianapolis Colts?
Indianapolis still has the seventh hardest schedule. They play the 49ers.
Yep.
They play us twice.
Those are tests.
They play Steelers.
Yep, that's a test.
They play Chargers.
But which one of those? If Daniel Jones leads them or Jonathan Taylor leads them, doesn't matter how they win. What's more important, the division wins, or did you beat like the cream of the crop? Because
Right.
division always be the tough ones. Division games always are close, but like when you go against San Francisco, that's hard. Like doesn't matter. Like you saw them with Brock Purdy. You know they went to the Super Bowl with them. You know they've been to championship games. They've done it all with Brock Purdy back there, and Brandon and I like so who I personally don't believe in them yet. I still think they're pretenders.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like I said, I'm on that.
Jags are contenders. The Jags, in my opinion, are contenders because, like you said, they beat the 49ers in San Francisco. They beat Kansas City at home. I mean, those are cream of the crop opponents right there. And you can say like, oh well, Kansas City didn't have Rashi Rice. I don't know say his name, but it doesn't matter. You have to find wins. You have to find ways to execute and win. And if you can't do that, you're not even gonna make a postseason. Like I believe like how the Jaguars defense is playing, like, and if Trevor Lawrence can stop making mistakes, because
Yeah, that's the
like I
big
said,
thing.
past what 7 out of 8 games he's thrown a pick, and that's not you can't win those ways. Trevor Lawrence has to like cut back on those. Trevor Lawrence has to play better football. So the real question is, can we get Trevor Lawrence to cut back on those? Because if you can get Trevor Lawrence to cut back on those, and the receivers to stop dropping easy like open passes, boy, like you're talking about maybe an AFC Championship appearance, in my opinion. And that could be a hot take but from where I'm sitting and watching them play, if that defense keeps averaging 3 turnovers a game, which is highly unlikely, but if you need to play elite defense and Trevor Lawrence, all Trevor Lawrence has to do is play smart football. There's no reason why not only can you guys win the division, you guys can possibly make an AFC Championship game appearance. That's my personal belief. I would love to see the Steelers do that. But like for example, when you have the Buffalo Bills that are elite with Josh Allen, boy, that's a task. You're going up against a monster right there.
Yeah, luckily we don't have to play them this year. But I'll tell you the remaining Jaguars schedule. Okay. Because we're 4-1. I'm not gonna go through and do like, oh, we'll win that, we'll lose that, because I just want to name the opponent so you can see how easy the schedule is from here on out.
Okay.
Seattle in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Rams in London.
Okay, you guys play relatively well in London, so.
Then we have our bye. Then we play the Raiders in Las Vegas.
You guys should win that.
Then we play Texans in Houston.
Those are always tough ones for you guys. So those are always 50-50. Those are the 50-50 games.
Yeah. Then we play the Chargers in Jacksonville. Then we play in Arizona.
Okay.
Then we play at Tennessee. Then we play the Colts at home. But again, I just told you this. That's 8 games, and you could definitely beat the Raiders. You can definitely beat the Cardinals. You can definitely beat the Titans. Like that's not a
Yep.
question in my mind. So you're looking at 7 wins, and that's giving Houston a win, and that's giving the Colts a win. And I think we could. I think we can sweep Texans, and I think we can sweep the Titans.
Especially with the defense. Like you said, it's
Mhm.
all about how your plays. Because if Devin Lloyd plays like this the rest of the year, and your defense plays like this, like how Eric Armstead's been playing and how your defense has been playing, there's no reason why like winning the division. They said like wild card game. Like, I'm like, oh, like AFC Championship is a big ask for the Jaguars. I'm like, no, it's not. When you have elite defense and you can stop anybody, and all you're asking for your offense to do is, hey, just do enough for us. We'll take care of the rest. It's
Right.
hard to stop that. It's hard.
Absolutely. Then we play.
Buffalo Bills is AFC Championship game. Like it's all about who they're
Mm,
gonna play.
absolutely, absolutely. And the AFC, as much as they've kind of regressed a little bit, I feel like it's still a very competitive conference.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because like for example, you don't know who like in the AFC, you don't know who's like real or not.
Right.
You don't know. For example, if the Ravens lose this weekend, they go 1-5.
I
Let's
think
say for
they're
example,
done. 1 and 5. I think they're done. Personally.
it's hard for me to say that when you've seen them do it time and time again when they turn around on defense, and then when you have Lamar play like Lamar Jackson, I have a hard time saying they're done because it's just like, are they? Can they?
Yeah, I mean
I
the Jags were 1 and 5 in 2022, and they made the wild card.
Yeah, and then that's why I'm like, for example, the Bengals without Joe Burrow, I believe personally they're done. It's just like Joe Burrow is an animal. Joe Burrow is X factor superstar that will I can get you there. Just 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 make me enough stops.
Hmm.
You get me enough stops, I can win you this football game. You get me a
Yeah,
turnover, I'm gonna give me a turnover or two, I can win you this football game.
yeah. That I saw a glimpse of that out of Trevor yesterday or Monday.
Cleveland with Deshaun Watson, they're toast. I'm just kidding.
I saw a glimpse of that on Monday night with Trevor. A minute 45 left, 2 timeouts. He went down and won the game.
And guess what? He went down there and it's won you the game.
He won
And
you the
that's
game.
and that's exactly my point. If your defense can make the stops and your offense do it, it's hard for me to be. It's hard. That, I'm a big fan of watching a defensive battle. I know like there might not be high scoring games, but I'm like, if my defense can beat your defense and my offense beat your defense, like I'm pretty happy. I love like don't get me wrong, I love high scoring games, but I get so frustrated watching teams get burned on the secondaries or gash
Yeah,
runs.
I don't like those either.
Yeah, like I'm
I
like
don't like blown coverage touchdowns. Like I mean obviously it's fun to watch sometimes, but it's like I don't want
yes,
to see that more than once a game.
yeah, like, I love believe it. 45, 42 games is fun, but it's like then you're criticizing the defense. Like I'd rather watch a gritty 24-27 win, or even like a 24 or 24-21 win grinded. So even it's like 2017. Like
Hmm.
I love watching. Like so I know that if we can get a tough battle, and you because those are the games that can prove that you can win games.
Hmm.
Those games. It's like, oh, if your defense doesn't play and the defense doesn't play, you can go shot for shot, and it doesn't matter. It should be who ends up with the ball last. When you have two elite anchors on defense, for example, like the Jaguars defenses, when they can make the stops, or when they not only do they make stops, they force turnovers. And hey, Trevor, can you at least get us three here? Hey, Trevor, get us enough to where, excuse me, that get us there. And now all of a sudden, 4-1. Like it's hard for me to put the Jags like everyone like they're like, oh well, I'm like, no, they're legit. They are 100% legit. I don't believe in Indianapolis only because just I think it's just I don't know if it's just bad with Daniel Jones, or I just personally believe they haven't had that statement victory. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean we were talking about it. I definitely Again, it could be because I'm biased, but I don't think it is. We've all, and again, we've seen enough Daniel Jones to know he's not gonna leave you a minute 45 two timeout drive to go win you the football game.
He can do. Can he do it 100%?
Yeah,
Like,
he
will
can.
he?
He can do it, but it's gonna take the guys around him doing it.
Yes.
You know.
100%. Like, for example, if you put him a minute 45 with 2 timeouts with the Bengals offensive line, that ain't happen. Like, like if you have that,
Yeah. I Yeah, I
but
don't believe in them. I just
I personally just don't believe in it. You know, I will say this: I'm very surprised with. Maybe it's just me. I'm very surprised how bad the Miami Dolphins are this year.
yeah, specifically their offense. I mean, because you would think that McDaniel would have them playing slightly better.
And then like he's an offensive guru minded. You have Jalen Waddle, you have Achan, and
You had
you had.
Tyreek, yeah.
But it's just I'm very surprised with what I've seen. It's just like wow, I thought you guys would be at least like if through 5 games, I thought maybe 3-2. Like
So
I understand because I understand they lost a whole secondary.
yeah,
They're really different. Like now you have Mika Fitzpatrick back there. Great. I mean, I love Mika Fitzpatrick. He'll always be a great safety. But that defense is different. You don't have Christian Wilkins anymore. You don't have the guys that defensive like the guys that were there. And you saw Wilkins. He got cut from the Raiders from for I don't know kissing a guy on the head. But you just don't know what you're going to get from Tua. I think I feel like that's the main reason why they've been losing is because you don't know what you're getting from Tua. Which Tua are you getting? Are you getting Tua that plays well or Tua that throws 2 picks?
Tua turned the ball over.
Yeah, like,
They
yeah. Like I mean, which one? What are you getting?
yeah, I think they have a chance to show the world that they can be for real against the Chargers, who are a little banged up. They're without Joe
Uh-huh.
Alt. They're without Slater. They're without their running back now. So I
Omarion.
mean, yeah, Omari and Hampton went down. He's going to be out for at least 4 weeks. I think they said.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know if he actually went to IR though. Did he?
He did.
He
He
did.
did. Yeah,
Okay.
he's on his next.
So
And I like what, and it's interesting. 'Cause it's just like the Chargers look good, and then it's just like, well, how if they aren't banged up, how good are they? Because you don't know where like for example the Ravens like we're going back to the Ravens like how many starters were out? Kyle Hamilton, Lamar, like now you traded Odafe who like I know he played last game but you trade away Odafe you're I can't remember the other defensive lineman like that's 4 right there like I know Nate Wiggins was injured you had like Jair Alexander always has health issues like
oh
he's a
really?
great corner but you have and then like Marlon Humphreys it's like geez, man, it's hard to watch them play when all injuries stack up because eventually every team's gonna face them. Every team's gonna face them. The Steelers faced it early on. I mean, I don't see any big ones for the Jaguars, for example. But like when you have the Chargers and a team like the Chargers, team like the Baltimore Ravens with those injury battles, it's hard to win games.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's going to be a tough one. So we can go ahead and do our prediction for that one. I got
Oh,
Chargers.
so do I. So do
Hmm.
I. I just don't. I don't know about that one. I just. It's hard for me to like. For example, like it's hard for me to understand why if the Jets defense, like I don't get it. Aaron Glenn's a defensive minded coach, and you guys are 0-5, but Justin Fields hasn't been the problem. Justin Fields has played well in some of these games. Like he played well against Miami. They almost beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They nearly beat us. The Steelers.
Yeah.
Like you can make an argument they could have been 3-2, 4-1, but the way around the ball, the way the ball bounces, it's 0-5.
Yeah, I think that's not every reconstruction of front office and coaching can come in and immediately make an impact. Uh
Mm-hmm.
well, impact is the wrong word.
Look at
Immediately
Cohen.
win games.
Look at Cohen and look at Glenn.
Well, we had the structure, I feel like. We had the QB, we had like they brought all these pieces in from the outside. And
Yeah,
we had Trevor already there. We had BTJ already there. We had Josh Hines Allen already there. I mean,
yeah,
they have Garrett Wilson and stuff, but they're bringing in a QB. They're learning a new system. You got a rookie head coach. Like, there's a lot of factors. And I do think that personally, offensive minded head coaches have it a little bit easier in today's NFL to get off the ground running because so defenses win championships. Not saying that's not true. But when it comes to like the day-to-day football, like every game, the offense comes in and they're typically more aggressive. Offensive minded head coaches are typically more aggressive and they want their offense to do the legwork. Defensive head coaches, and again, if you don't have the pieces, the defense doesn't work.
right.
Like, and I think that's where the Jets are kind of having their issues right now is they don't have. I don't think their team's as good as like people thought going in because I know they have Sauce, they have Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields comes in, they got that a rookie tight end, Mason Taylor, I mean they've got the pieces. It's just like they're trying to redo years of suck and stink. Like that's the best way I can describe it. At least here in Jacksonville, Doug Peterson came in. He had 2 9-8 seasons, and then had the 4-13 season, which got him fired. But it's like they were only a year removed from being the number one seed in the NFL before Trevor went down in that Bengals game on Monday Night Football and hurt his leg. So
Yeah,
like our core was kind of there. I think Liam Cohen had to come in, change some things, and teach the team how to win. I think they have a completely different problem in New York. They have
yeah.
a lack of discipline, lack of structure, lack of a lot of things that Robert Saleh didn't do.
And for what it's worth, I like Aaron Glenn, first with the Rodgers thing, like going different direction. Cool. I understand that you want to change everything from last year's team. Like you
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to keep Devontae, you didn't want to keep Aaron Rodgers. Like you felt like those guys were like I don't know about Devontae, but you felt like Aaron Rodgers was like a problem, a locker room guy. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get. And then when it comes now, you got Justin Fields in there. It's like I like Justin Fields, but some of the stuff that he's saying, like, oh, there's a first time for everything, and then against Pittsburgh, well, I know them better than they know me. It's like, dude, no offense, but like, go win those games.
Mm-hmm.
Go win the. Now, have you been the reason why you've won the games? Obviously not. But like, have you been the reason why they? Let me rephrase it. Like, have you been the reason they've lost all 5 games? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, you played very well in some, and the fact that you're 0-5 and you're like, I thought personally that they would be, like I said, I thought they'd be 3-2, or like even 2-3. I'm not gonna sit here and say like they're gonna be like if you would have told me in August, hey, after 5 games the Jets are gonna be 0-5, I would have been like, no, no, they're not. I'll be probably 2-3, 3-2. Like if you would have told me after if I told you after the first 5 games of the year the Jets would be 4-1, no, you
No,
don't think so?
no,
Like,
I really, I thought we were going to be
well,
3-4 at the bye.
okay. So define your expectations.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So here was my thought
Last
process.
9 turnovers last year, but 14 now
What's that?
in 5 games. 9 turnovers last year, 14 in 5 games.
Yeah, no. See, how do you can't make stuff like that up? That's scripted. No, just kidding. Um, no. So what I thought coming in, I was like San Francisco 49ers probably a loss. I
Okay.
actually had us beating Cincinnati, and I had
Okay.
us
I
beating the
thought
Panthers. I had us losing to the Chiefs. I had us losing to the Rams. I had us losing to San Fran. San Fran. Oh, and I had us losing to the Texans.
because you felt like you knew what you were getting yourself into.
Yeah, I thought that Liam, and honestly, it has happened this way. I had a feeling that the offense was gonna struggle because it's a new system. You're trying to have all these moving parts. You've got a rookie wide receiver that's also playing DB, so it's like he's got to learn two playbooks. He's got a lot of development still. So
All those meetings, yeah,
right.
meetings.
That's what people don't really understand, and I understand like why some people are like just play him at one position. It's like when you watch him play, he's on top of the wide receivers when they're running their routes as a DB. He's super sticky. He had a couple of targets as a DB on Monday night, and he only allowed one reception for 7 yards.
Yeah.
You need him to be a DB. But then you look at the offensive side and that catch he made. How do you not have him as a wide receiver when he's catching the ball in double coverage, going up there to get it and landing on his back?
Yeah, it wasn't here that hit it. It was
Right. He
I'm
was
going.
like,
I had to yeah, I have to go get it. You know,
it's
and
like
that's
you can't keep that guy off the field.
and for each week. Like now, the one thing about the Jaguars now, like I said, they won 4 games last year. Now they're at 4 wins right now. Like, like there's you can make an argument even if they win 3 more games this year. You can't put that much pressure on Cohen because Cohen's like 4-1, and it's like now it's like okay, now like for example, if you guys end the year 11-6,
Mhm.
you know you got to be or 11-6. Like you got to be proud what Liam Cohen has done. You got to be proud with how Trevor Lawrence was. If Trevor Lawrence stays healthy this year, like he's able to do it. He's only and a lot of people like to judge. The one thing I hate about people judging Trevor Lawrence is he's 26.
I know.
Like you know how many quarterbacks that's like he can play in the league for another 10 years.
Yeah.
Like that's still 2 more 4 year contracts. Like still like that he's 26. He's not like he's like 34 on the back end and like Trevor Lawrence is struggling. It's like he's 26 years old.
I mean,
I
just
don't.
just to put that into perspective, Bo Nix is 25.
Well, he also played in college a long time.
Jaden Daniels is 24.
I didn't know that.
Trevor Lawrence turned 26 2 days ago. Monday was his
Like,
birthday.
that's what I'm talking. Like, look, I mean, he's still a young quarterback in this league, and it's like, well, he's bottom of, and he's like 20, I believe 20. I could be wrong here. 21st in QBR. It's like they're 4-1. At one point, are you going
Right.
to start just giving him playing well? Like, so what? So what's QBR is 21st in the league? Oh, well, he's not a top 5 QBR. Like, okay, what if he throws 4 touchdowns and 1 pick every game? What if he throws what if he's 17 and 20 with 1 touchdown every game?
Yeah. I
Well, he's
mean,
on. It's always gonna be some sort of scrutiny with him, and like I said, like when you see 58% completion rating, it's just like that's very misleading. That's
it
not.
is. It's very misleading because, like you said earlier in the podcast, they lead the league in drops, and I'll also tell you they also lead the league in penalties. So it's like they're starting behind the sticks, and now you're playing the position, not trying to get 5 yards an attempt. You're playing, you need 10 yards an attempt. And that
Yeah,
changes everything. And that also gets your coaches off script. They can't call the plays when you're starting at 1st and 20, every drive.
can't have that. Like imagine like when you have 1st and 20, 1st and 15, and then it's like you gain those yards back. It's like now you're essentially playing with two more downs to mess with second and third, and when you can't play like that and expect success.
Exactly. And that, like I said, that hinders Trevor, it hinders the offense. It changes the game plan because now you're not trying to get 10 yards, you're trying to get 15, you're trying to get 20. You're trying to do stuff differently so that way you're not penalizing yourself. There was a big issue with the pre snap motion. And again, that comes from they were last in the league in pre snap plays. They did no pre-snap motion. It was like 40% of the plays they did pre-snap motion. So Trevor didn't have the answers. He's going out there and trying to guess what these coverages are, and that's what motion does. It lets you know if it's man. It lets you know if it's zone. It lets you know if this safety is going to come over.
When you watch the Kansas City game, you can tell it took him a minute to get settled in.
Mm-hmm.
Like he thought, like he had zone, he turned on man coverage. Thought he had man coverage, had zone. It's like it took him a little bit to get into rhythm, which it's sometimes it takes like that. Sometimes quarterbacks like
Yeah.
it's because they throw you off when you have two deep safeties and you expect to run the ball and it's 2nd and 9. It's like now what do we do here? Do I try to get moving? Do I try to pass the ball? Do I try try to throw with two safeties? It's hard to get when you have those shells in the bag. It's like it's hard to do that. It's hard.
Yeah, and I mean, you even see quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes getting thrown off by some of that because I mean, I watched Patrick Mahomes' press conference after the game, and he said the play he got pick six on, we ran the exact same play against Cincinnati on the same exact yard line. And he said that's what he sent Travis Kelsey in motion a couple steps, and the man followed him. And he said, I knew it was cover zero. He was like, I knew it was man coverage, and I knew the slant would be open.
Was
However,
it?
however, Devin Lloyd, a crazy call by our defensive coordinator. Devin Lloyd sinks to act like he's rushing just like he did against Cincinnati. But right before he engages with the center, he backs off and goes into
Yep.
coverage. And Patrick Mahomes never even seen him. But that's to the point of like knowing the answers to the test when it comes to reading the defense before you snap the ball. Like Trevor didn't get those answers last year. Trevor wouldn't
No.
even known it was man coverage last year because we didn't do motion.
Well, it's not even about the motion. Trevor couldn't stay upright. Like,
That too.
how can Trevor can Trevor can know the exact coverage, but when you know the right read and where to go to, how can you do that when you're being pressured 2.5 seconds in?
Yep.
Like, it's hard because, like, for example, when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, I mean, we saw when you rush three, we've seen it, and you let it play develop. He will find somebody, and he
Every
will make
time.
sure you pay every time when you have Patrick Mahomes back there. Like I'm a big believer in you. You got to bring it to Mahomes almost every time he passes because you let him sit, he will run. He'll look like he's about to take off, throw it last second. He'll throw a cross body. He'll do like a no look pass. He can do whatever he wants. And if you don't bring pressure on a guy like Patrick Mahomes, like you're you're in it for a long night, a long day. It doesn't matter. Long afternoon.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you.
I personally don't like the fact that when I saw the Jags rush three and he took a deep shot, it's like
Yeah.
why are you rushing three on Patrick Mahomes? Why?
Yeah, I disagree with
Oh,
that.
always four. Bring four every time. Bring four. Bring
Absolutely.
five. Doesn't matter. Like have each offensive lineman guard somebody. Like it's hard for me to like get that on my mind. Like what are you guys doing? I think my personal like what's your game of the weekends? For me, it's obvious. Like besides like the Lions and Chiefs, I'm actually excited to see what the Bucks and 49ers do. I'm actually excited to watch that game because with Baker and how he's been playing, and then the 49ers kind of you can say need this one. You
Yeah,
know,
I think this is a good game for them to win because Tampa Bay is legit. They are contenders in the NFC. Absolutely. They
the
beat.
reason why is because I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
good.
Go ahead.
No, go
I was
ahead.
just saying like both teams are 4-1, and it's
Yeah.
like when I say like the 49ers need this one, it's just like they do. Like they played without Brock Purdy, and they've had Mac Jones play very well. But and then it's like, well, Mac Jones should possibly be the starter. It's like, come on, like how much of these are really the headline? People want trying to make a clickbait headline of like why Mac Jones should be the starter. Like I personally believe the reason why the 49ers do this more than the Bucks is because of how banged up they are, and like let's go get this one because they beat the Rams on Thursday night, but I don't know what it is. I just feel like even when you play the division games, they're always going to be like that.
Yeah.
But when they're not, and you play tough teams like the Buccaneers, those are going to be some interesting. That's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, I like that game a lot. And I also like ours against the Seahawks. Two top defenses in the league. Um,
Absolutely, yeah.
that should be a defensive battle. It's here, so I do like our chances. But if I wasn't going to be a homer, I'm absolutely picking the 49ers in the Buccaneers game. That is, I don't know what
I
it's about Baker Mayfield, but since he left, well, I don't say left, since he got kicked out of Cleveland, I've been the biggest Baker Mayfield fan.
I feel like the Bucks are gonna win. I feel like the 49ers need it more than they do because if you give the Bucks anything under a close game,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna cap. They've shown you time and time and time again. What all 4 wins have been with under a minute left,
Yeah, I mean Baker will get you down. He's getting you down the field.
and you need to win. You need to. That's what I said. If the 49ers go down, come to Tampa and they dominate, like that shows you more about the 49ers than it does about the Bucks.
Yeah, to do
I
it
was looking.
without Bosa would be huge.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why it's like I want to see Baker. I think the Bucks are going to win, but in my opinion, I feel like the 49ers need it more. Like so, it doesn't mean the 4-2 isn't a bad record at all, by any means. But who needs it more? Both teams 4-1. You gotta. It's going to be a fight. I feel like it's going to be a dog fight.
Well,
And
I also will add because the Rams are also only one game behind the 49ers. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't really have to worry about their division, honestly.
the Carolina Panthers we're talking
Yeah, okay. The Falcons are 2-2 and they're in second place.
about.
And Buccaneers are 4-1. So
Yeah,
they're comfortable at the moment.
very.
So that would be my game. I'm picking the Bucks.
I picked the Bucks as well. I think it's going to be a fun. Either way, it's going to be a fun game in Tampa Bay. Like another, like for example, I got the Jaguars winning this week, and it's only because I'm looking. When I look at both, I went to Pittsburgh and saw Seattle live. Their defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
They bottled up Rodgers for the most part of the game. The Steelers couldn't run the ball. They couldn't do much. But when I watched the Jags, I trust them defensively more. And I feel like Trevor Lawrence, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Do I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna throw a pick this game? I do. Doesn't mean he's gonna be the reason why they win, but I feel like if Trevor Lawrence can find a way to do what he did, and what he did against Kansas City is those guys aren't there, and you go,
Yeah.
man, go. Like, don't slide when you have to. If you need to dive forward and you have plenty of room, you're not gonna get hit. Dive forward, go get the first. Don't go out and hurt you. Don't go out of your way and get hit intentionally. But I trust the Jaguars defense more. I feel like with Cohen and how you guys have been playing, they said you guys didn't play like all world against Kansas City. It took you guys a while defensively to get settled in, but every team, like when you play tough, elite teams, it's always gonna take a minute to settle in.
Yeah, and I got another interesting thing for you here. The last time Sam Darnold played the Jacksonville Jaguars,
There you
last
go.
last year, how many
Okay,
takeaways did the Jaguars have?
you tell me.
9 all year.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was 9. Yeah, I think I meant the game. My bad.
Guess how many they had against Sam Darnold?
3.
3 interceptions against Sam Darnold.
So six takeaways in the other 6 games.
Yep.
That's brutal.
So you're looking at that and you're like, what?
Yeah, and for what it's worth, it's Sam Darnold. Like Sam Darnold isn't the same as like for what it is. Like he's not the same Sam Darnold that we knew. He's a different guy now. He's totally different, which I like, man. I like watching quarterbacks that like for example, do I think Bryce Young needs to get out of Carolina and go somewhere else eventually? Yeah, because I do. Like, is it gonna be that easy for him to get out of there? Obviously not. Chances, to play the rookie contract, then to be like, oh, do we franchise tag him? Do we not? Like, do we pick up the 5th-year option? Like, it's going to be a long ways for him to get out of there. But but, but with Sam Darnold, you don't know. It's like he said, 3 takeaways from If he forces another 3 on Sunday, it's going to be another Jaguars victory.
That's what I'm hoping for. I was trying to see if we got any fumbles. We did not get any fumbles because that would have been crazy. 4 out of 9 of your turnovers in one game. The final score to that game, and this was the Vikings team that got 14 wins, 12-7. The Vikings won 12 points, and that's against a Kevin O'Connell offense. So I say that because I mean it's two different teams. You're on Seattle now, completely different team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the defense should be able to figure out Sam Darnold, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if they get 3 turnovers again.
I would love to see them get 3 turnovers again. I would love
Yeah,
to see them just go to break every turnover record they could possibly do.
dude, I'd be happy. I would be
So
very happy.
no, but I'm definitely excited. Like it's going to be very interesting on what happens now. Now this week is everything going to be different? Yeah, like you don't know what you're going to get. It's always different for each game for each team. So Ian, would you hit one of your players just just for them for just a boneheaded mistake?
No, no. I actually
I feel
didn't
bad.
know he got hit. I thought they were just because when I saw that he got fined 100K, I was like, are we really finding coaches for getting upset with their players and yelling out on the sideline? And then I saw the video and I'm like, oh, he actually took a swing at him. That's kind of crazy. He punched him in the gut or
Gannon,
something.
I feel like Gannon's kind of lucky because think I don't know how to describe it. If Gannon had other players around and if they didn't respect him, what happens there? Do players surround you? Do you keep your cool? Do what happens there? When do you like something like that? This early in the season can lose the locker room if you're a head coach.
Yeah.
Like you got to have like Kyler Murray stand up and say something. Maybe even like or maybe like somebody
Calais
in that locker room.
Campbell, one of the
Yeah,
vets.
like somebody because the fact that that Gannon got fined, like he got fined 100K, but it's just like he definitely asked for it. When you can't do that to a player,
Yeah.
and if your player's back to you, like all of a sudden, hey, you're ooh, it's to be done nice, You're once you lose the locker room, it's hard to recover that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the Cardinals are definitely on that corner of potentially doing that. When you lose to the Titans in the way they did,
They were
you're
what up 26, and it would have been 28-6, like in that moment, and then not only do you collapse
collapse.
horrendous,
Yeah.
and it's like,
There's already
wow,
so many questions in Arizona as well. Is it the coaching? Does Kyler Murray need to be moved on from? You've got James Conner that's now back to back injured years. What's that?
he got hit in the face with the ball being snapped. He got hit in
Yeah,
the helmet, right?
yeah. That's I've never seen that. I mean,
No,
he went to the locker room afterwards.
yeah, I mean, it's man, that's gotta be brutal. Like for example, you see bad snaps where it's too low or too high, but a bad snap where it hits you right in the face and then you go right into the locker room. It's just like what's going on in Arizona? Like for example, like is it or is it that Cam Ward knows how to win on the West Coast? Because what Cam Ward went to Cal and came back and beat Cal in Miami. And guess what? He went back on the West Coast and beat the Cardinals
What?
for his first win.
There's just so many little things that I see in Arizona where it's like, why does a player of Marvin Harrison Jr.'s caliber have a confidence issue in his second year?
See, yeah, because maybe the expectation is we expected more from him. Maybe it's the like you're supposed to be here like as rookie. We want you. You're here. We want you here now. Like and they keep elevating, keep elevating, keep elevating. And if you keep, and maybe that's the expectation. And maybe in his head he's like, oh, I know I can be that. And then once you have one bad drop where you catch a ball and you run and you lose it or something, it shakes everything about you. Like not about you, but it affects the way you play. And if you're Marvin Harrison Jr., are you happy with how you played? Are you happy with are you happy that you stopped like that you allow some of the plays that you you took off some plays where you ran half speed and then oh man, Kyler threw a pick and he threw it right into my direction.
Yeah.
And it's hard for Marvin Harrison Jr. to like because that's we go back to the wide receiver conversation. Is how like you're running how many routes a game, you're doing how many times where you're not being targeted, and and it's just like well whatever. I know the first read is over there or the second read's the running back, and I'm at the last read. All of a sudden, oh shoot, I'm getting I stopped running because I didn't think I was getting the ball.
Yeah, I mean that's
You know,
what happened on a couple of his interceptions so far this year.
hard man. And you got to feel for him. It's just so you second year in, and this happens to you. It's very difficult to have that. It's
Yeah.
like
I mean, he
you
made
got
a
to feel.
clutch catch last week. He made a couple of good grabs, so hopefully he's over it. But then you
I
go and
believe he is.
lose. Then you go and lose the game like that, though. That's kind of heartbreaking. Who do you think wins that one between them and the Colts?
I mean, I would love to see Arizona go in and win. I would love
Yeah,
to see them win.
I don't see that happening though.
I don't see that happening either. I think it's going to be the Colts, and it's going to be in like oh the Colts are for real, and it's going to be the same conversation with the Colts until they lose a big one. And it's
Yeah,
unfortunately, and unfortunately, I say it's unfortunate because just like I personally don't believe in them at all. I think it's just oh it's because it's like you had such low expectations, and when you watch them go 4-1, it's like oh my god they're this great team. It's like no, everyone has standards like
hmm
the standard for the Jaguars would be better than 4-13 and more than 9 turnovers. Than in 17 games. Like you have expectation of being better, and it's like you when you have low expectations and you blow them out of the water, you're always gonna be hyped. Like
hmm
if, for example, like everyone had high expectations for the Chiefs, and look how like what's going on, or everyone had expectations for the Ravens. Why are the Ravens even so bad? And then everyone's like, well, when you set those standards for each team, everyone's going to fluctuate in a way of, oh, great, bad, disappointed for each one.
yeah. I mean, they're definitely they got to figure it. I mean, Arizona's got to figure it out to beat the Colts. That's for sure. Because I need the Colts to lose.
That's the best part about having a competitive division. Like
I
I'd rather have
agree.
a competitive knowing that I beat the competitive division. Like for example, it's gonna be you guys, you and the Jags and the Colts. It's gonna be down the stretch. It's probably gonna do this every other week of up down, who's winning, and then it's gonna be fun watching the Jaguars and the Colts compete for the AFC, for the AFC South.
Absolutely. We've got another probably not good game, but the London game is Broncos versus Jets.
Denver.
Denver. Justin Fields is like you said, he's not playing bad. You know,
That's not
I
the problem.
yeah, I think they have personnel issues. I still they like I said, they have to get over the suckiness of what they've been going through the past 4 5 years. Well, 2 decades. It's not just been the last 4 or 5 years. It's been 2 decades.
Yeah,
Um,
and it is the past few decades, but like when you look at Justin Fields' stats, you see how he's playing this year. Like he's completing 67% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks passing. It he's not the I don't he's not the problem, and he's not the problem there. His QBR rating is 100. Like
you should be able to win
or
like
no,
that.
like his QBR is actually 47%. His rating is 100, but like but I don't. But he's not the problem. The defense is the problem. When you see how he's playing, and I don't know. I like Justin Fields. I do, but at one point, do you say with this Jets defense, hey, like this season's lost. You're on 5. I believe me. I love how he's doing everything, but at the same time, man, his last game against the Cowboys, you know, 32 of 46, 283, 2 touchdowns. Like that's not bad, but his QBR 24.3. Like putting seven. I mean, putting 70% passes is good. Like against like the only really bad game completing wise he had bad was against Buffalo when he went 11 to 27. You know, his QBR was 0.9.
That
Like,
I wonder. You think? I don't know. It's gonna be a defensive game. Hopefully, if the Jets defense shows up.
Denver's defense is great.
Yeah.
When they play, like, they're great. When you have PS2 back there, it's hard to. When you have PS2 and Benito, it's hard. Like, they're good, man. I got Denver winning, and if the Jet, I won't be surprised if the Jets win, only because it's in London, and and they won't. And it would be very, very funny to see. When I say funny, it's not because it's the Jets or anything, but it's like, of course, the first win isn't like an actual road game, like in the States
Yeah.
or at home. It's in London.
Home game in London.
Like, yeah, the Steelers won a home game, but their home game was in London. Like, they played it, or not London, in Ireland. Excuse me. Like,
Yeah.
the last time they won a game in Heinz Field or Acrisure Stadium was
Oh
when
jeez.
Russell was starter, and they went
Damn.
10-3.
Damn.
That's the last time they won Acrisure Stadium.
That's tough.
Yeah, how do you think I'm feeling right now?
They got a chance to do it this weekend though.
If they don't,
Did
crazy.
we picked Chargers over Dolphins, right? We did
Yeah,
that
I think
one.
the Chargers over the Dolphins.
Okay, Rams Ravens.
Rams 100. Do you think
Yeah.
Cooper Rush is gonna? I believe in Cooper Rush. I don't think Cooper Rush is the problem, but the defense is
Did you
crazy.
know Puka Nakua is on track to like catch the ball like 175 times? He's already got 50 receptions and we're only week 5. Like we've only completed 5 games.
Well, you've had Devontae Adams, but like, let's be honest, he took over that one spot last last year.
He might get
Even
20
even
receptions.
when he was a rookie, you can tell like, oh, he's gonna be something. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be like, oh my god, the best wide receiver, but like you can tell like watching his rookie year, like, hey, this he isn't just another wide receiver.
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah,
How about Cowboys?
honestly, that is a little questionable to me. I think the Cowboys should be able to
Really?
win that,
Why?
but I don't know. The Panthers kind of showed me some at the end of the Dolphins game.
The Dolphins suck.
Yeah, but also the Cowboys defense not very good.
Yeah, yeah. Is Bryce Young for real?
He's for real
Is
mid.
Bryce for real? No, I got the Cowboys.
I got the Cowboys.
The Cowboys defense was really great for the first 3 quarters against the Jets, and then they were like, all right,
They basically,
we,
yeah, they started running like cover 3. Like you're not. We'll keep it in front.
yeah.
You can get whatever you want, but we're and then they'd go back down and score 2. They'd let them drive and then all right, let's score 2. You know.
Oh, you think? You guys. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, you
I mean, let's
thought.
throw up George Pickens for 40 yards.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of impressed with the Cowboys. Not in that they're doing anything crazy. I really thought that they made the worst coaching hire out of everybody coming in.
Really?
I did, and that's not very fair because I really didn't know Shoddy that much, like a lot about him. He coached here in Jacksonville actually, with Urban Meyer, but I wasn't
So,
100% sure how he would do.
so do you believe it was a nepotism hire? You believe it was like what? What do you think it was about Shoddy? Like, do you think it was like, oh, like, what do you think it was like Jerry Jones saying, well, I can make anybody a great head coach?
I think he wanted an offensive minded head coach, but I do think it was a little bit of that's what Jerry like. I feel like very similar to the Steelers, they like to hire from within.
Oh, they do.
And I think that's kind of what Dallas's mindset was. They wanted to hire somebody in the building. Because, again, it's Jerry's team. He's not going to hire somebody that's going to try to take control. And it's always going to be his thumb on the team, like, dictating everything. So that I think Brian Shoddy was the best hire for him to be able to keep his thumb on the team.
Let's go ask their current GM. Oh wait, that's Jerry. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. His players, his team, his building, his coaches. He wanted somebody.
Everything.
Yeah, he's damn near calling the plays probably at this point.
Saints Patriots. Who do you got on that one?
Honestly, both teams look really good.
Spencer Rattler's been playing well, yeah. Like Spencer Rattler isn't been the reason why they've been losing, but you know,
Yeah, I mean,
I
here's the way I look at it. The Saints beat the Giants. The Patriots beat the Bills. I'm going with the Patriots. They showed me they can do it against a good team. They should be
yeah,
able to do it against the Saints.
they should, but how much long? Like if you're watching, if you're a Patriots fan, my question is, how much longer do you want to keep Ramondre Stevenson in before you put Henderson back there? You know,
Yeah,
like
I don't care about the contract. That was a different regime. I'd be Travion. You're the guy.
well, because Ramondre's got like such a fumbling problem. I'm not saying he's not a bad back, but it's just like if you can't hold on to the ball, at some point the trust is gonna. Yeah, you're doing it right now with these fumbles, like, and you did it against the Bills. You did it against the Steelers. I mean, you're doing it consistently, and when are we gonna see you not fumble? Can we get a clean game from you? Can you do it like you can fumble and recover it? That's fine, but if you fumble more than twice in a game consistently, and your offense doesn't pounce on it, and you're giving other teams chances, it's like at some point, hey, Henderson, where you're in.
Yeah, I like I said, Ramondre was a previous regime's decision. Again,
Mhm.
like he is a good back. Like
Yeah,
I'm not like saying he's bad, but like you said, you got to give it to the hot hand, and you got to get it to the guy that's going to hold on to the football.
but what my question is, what point do you take that away? Because it's like he's still running back one. But at one point, when do you say, hey, look, enough is enough? We're 5 games in, we cannot have you keep doing this. You're gonna be like, I'm not saying I'm not saying take him out of the rotation entirely, right?
Mhm.
But like have him running back, like have him be in for certain packages or certain plays, or you know. But when do you start doing that?
I mean, to me, I would have made the decision already. Now that you're kind of winning some games, why not?
Yeah, like it's hard to do that. Like for example, Jalen Warren. I like Jalen Warren. Has a fumbling problem in the rain. He can fumble. He's like in the rain. He has a tough time keeping the ball. But I just wonder with Ramondre. It's like, dude, you can't keep doing this. Eventually you're going to cost your team. Like at some point, it's like, all right, why are you even here?
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I do have Patriots winning, but again, Ramondre's gotta
I think
if he's gonna touch the ball, he needs to hold on because Saints don't have a bad defense.
no,
It's
no.
not awful. It's not. I mean, their issue is always going to be the salary cap. Like
Yeah, well,
they've pushed it so far down the road that and it's
they
all
did
vets.
they did that to themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Same thing with the Browns. They did that to themselves with their
Mhm.
salary cap situation. When you do that when you're shooting yourself in the foot for dead cap money, 36 million in dead cap for Deshaun Watson. It, I mean, that's brutal.
That is brutal. That is brutal. Even though the Patriots are away, I've got the Patriots. I think that's safe to lock in.
Oh yeah, I agree. I just don't think the Saints can do it. Like the Saints beat not a great team. You know,
We did talk in pretty good detail about both these teams, but we can do our picks. Brown Steelers.
oh come on, Steelers
Like,
all day.
what's your shirt say?
It's not bad.
Yeah, I've got Steelers here. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. I do think the Browns. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be very low scoring.
Yeah,
Um, but I think you
I
guys
think
can win.
oh absolutely. I think it's gonna be Tom. What I think it's gonna be. Hey, he's a rookie quarterback. With Tomlin, go get him.
Yeah, maybe
And
they
then
blitz a
offensive,
little. Maybe they blitz a little more.
I think so. I think it's because you want to make that rookie quarterback uncomfortable. Do you want to talk about the Titans and Raiders?
This might be the worst
But
game of the year.
I mean, I can pull. Let me pull up my. I did my picks today at my job,
Mhm.
and I actually took the Raiders for this one.
Well, it's in Las
But
Vegas. That's
after talking about Cam Ward and how he plays on the West Coast, I probably should pick Tennessee.
I actually do like Las Vegas here. I think I don't like either team in this, honestly. And if Brock Bowers is out, that does change my opinion a little bit. But being it's in Las Vegas, I don't see Pete Carroll losing to a rookie quarterback.
Neither do I. That's where I'm stuck at. That's exactly
Mhm.
why I picked the Raiders. Because in my head I'm like, I mean, I love Cam Ward, but Pete Carroll and I feel like Geno Smith. I feel like Geno Smith has to get a get back game. You
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely. Now that is
I,
probably one I would stay away from. It. Like if I was betting on any game this week, that's one I'm staying away
Mhm.
from. I'm staying away from that. That could be
oh,
ugly.
I want to touch it with a 10 football. To be honest
Nope.
with you, like not
Absolutely
because
not.
it's not because both teams are bad. It's like which one? It's gonna be a bad game. Not a bad game to watch, but it's gonna be like, golly, which one needs it more when they
Who's
both need
gonna
it?
fuck up the most? Like that's the question. Is it gonna be Gino or is it gonna be Cam?
Well, the thing with Cam is that
Yeah.
his offensive line and
Hmm.
and he's got no great elite receivers. I personally would have loved to see Xavier Restrepo be signed to that active roster.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Go young.
I love the Miami Hurricanes. Don't get me wrong. I love watching the Hurricanes play, but when the connections that you build, especially like for example, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be this when I say this. You see what Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase do.
Hmm.
Again, I'm not saying they're going to be that, you know. But when you have those connections and like, hey, I want you, you know that spot, they like Brady and Edelman, Brady and Gronk. Like, I know where I want you to be here, and you're going to be there. And look what happened. They found the success. Obviously, again, two different kinds of players. But when you have those connections, they matter. They genuinely matter. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
want that.
Especially for a rookie.
Yeah, like for example, like if you like when Deshaun Watson and like for example, I don't like using him in a name, but like Hunter Renfro, like those guys, like when college they were great.
Mhm.
Like believe that even D Hop, for example, was great. You know, like you those wide receiver quarterback connections you need.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why when T Higgins wasn't re-signed yet, I was really hoping the Jags would go get him. Get that T Higgins, Trevor Lawrence, Clemson days back. Unfortunately, they re-signed, but I mean, we ended up doing okay with BTJ, but still,
Oh yeah,
I would have loved to see T Higgins in Jacksonville.
yeah, but it's those. I would like. That's why I would love to see Xavier Restrepo there because a guy like him, let's say, learns to play. Learns the plays, is actually on the field. And Cam Ward. If you watched, if any like diehard like college football fan or football fan watched NFL fan watched Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo, you know that those two guys had the connection of a lifetime. Where like I know that he's gonna be right where I need him. He's gonna like if I'm rolling out to the right, I know if Restrepo's all the way on the left, Restrepo's running to see like, hey, here. Like I'm following you. I'll lead up field. I'll come back to you if you need me to. Like, and he didn't have to be like, what am I doing? He's like, all right, I know where to go.
Yeah, absolutely. You know where guys are going to be. You know that's important.
Yeah, especially like when plays break down.
Yeah, and I
So
mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
does does Joe Flacco get his get back game against the Packers?
No,
Does he get him back?
no.
No, no.
I think the Packers bounce back in a big way from them kind of not doing too hot the last couple weeks.
Well, that's why I said Flacco does it again because they beat the Packers.
Oh, I didn't even put that together. That is true. But no, I
No,
Packers win this.
back again. Like, oh, you got rid of me. I'm gonna beat you again. Like
It's in Lambeau. They're gonna be able to
that.
throw the ball.
It's a 425 game as well. Like it's gonna be a fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think the Packers need it more than. I mean, I get it. Like Joe Flacco's gonna have two great wide receivers, but I think Jordan Love needs his hey 41, shame on me. Like, or
Yeah.
41, shame on you. I'm gonna get you back on this one.
I like the Packers here, especially with the pass rush against that Bengals offensive line. That's gonna be. It's a different ballgame. Cleveland's offensive line isn't bad.
No, Cleveland's not.
Bengals,
Look,
they'll be lucky to keep that man.
got a sack. They rushed 3 against that. Like the Broncos rushed 3 and still got a sack.
Yeah.
You have 3 offensive linemen blocking 1 dude, and they still got a sack.
Yeah.
The 2 tackles got.
Micah Parsons.
I got.
Micah Parsons might have his best game of the year right here.
I hope. So. I would love to see it. I would love to see it, especially in Lambeau.
Yep. Yeah. So this is my game of the week.
Okay.
The Lions Chiefs. That is my game of the week.
Mine is the 49ers and Bucks. That's mine. I think the two great NFC teams going at each other. You can't.
I love that game because, like I said, I think that's a good game too. My only thing that gives me the edge to the Chiefs Lions is because the 49ers have so many injuries. If they were fully healthy, that would 100% be my game of the week. 100%. But with the Chiefs coming off a Monday night loss, Lions coming off 2 good wins, this is going to be a battle.
Well, my question to you is: let's say, for example, do you see the Chiefs going 2-4? They were 0-2, and then all of a sudden they're 4. It's like I can't see it.
I can't see it either.
I can see the Chiefs. I can see the Chiefs winning. I can also see Jared Goff leading them down the field and winning them the game. But at the end of the day, it's hard for me to I would have to see it to believe it, to see the Chiefs go 2-4. I have to watch the game and see them go down like that.
I actually think this is going to be super high scoring. I think both teams score over 30. And I think that because if you think about the game they just had in Jacksonville, the Chiefs were on track to score over 30 until they threw the pick 6. Because if they don't throw that pick 6 there and they score a touchdown there, they score 35 points. They had 28? Yeah, they would have had 35 points.
Yeah. Or it could have been 31 with let's say even a field goal.
Field goal.
So they're still scoring over 30. You are right.
So and the Lions they've got back-to-back games now. I think that they've got over 30. Granted, they played worse defenses.
Yeah.
52 against the Bears. Wait, what am I looking at? There's no way that's okay. That was week 1. Week 1 they scored 52 against the Bears. Week 2, 38 against the Ravens. 34 against the Browns, and 37 against the Bengals.
So I'm hearing is they can score.
They can score. That's why I think if I was gonna pick a team here, as hard as it is, I have to go Lions personally, only because they can score.
I only got the Chiefs because it's just it's hard for me to believe to see them go 2-4. I have to see them go down. I agree. I have to lose to go see it because it's just 0-2, win 2, then you lose 2. It's I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough because I do have a hard time seeing them going 2-4.
I would give the slight to Detroit if it was in Detroit.
That's fair. And Kansas City, that's a different ballgame.
Yeah, was it the loudest stadium in the NFL?
Mm-hmm.
Arrowhead, it's hard to do that. It's hard to go in there and beat them, especially when you when they're all hyped up and it's a 4th close game. Even early in the first quarter, big 3rd down conversions and that stadium's rocking and you can't communicate and you have it's hard.
Bills Falcons, and look, I've got a good friend of mine that's a Falcons fan, and this is one of those games where they're coming off a bye. They need to be ready to play this Bills team. But the Bills are also coming off a very disappointing loss on Monday or Sunday Night Football.
I think the Bills win this one just to get the bad taste out of the mouth against the Patriots.
That's kind of how I'm going with it. Now, this Falcons offense, last time they played, 2 weeks ago, well, they had the bye. They played before. Drake London had a touchdown. Bijan had a touchdown. Kyle Pitts had a touchdown. They might have kind of started clicking. I mean, we won't know. We'll see the Bills defense isn't great.
Let me ask you this, though. What version of the Atlanta Falcons offense are we going to get? Are we going to get that? Or are we going to get the Carolina offense that couldn't do anything? Like, what are we going to get from Michael Penix,
That's true. I mean, that is a good question. I think being that that's a division game, I do not that I think the Panthers are good, but I do division games are tough. You
They
know,
are. They're close. Normally they're like 2017, 23-20 type games. Like, I'm not saying all of them are like that, but more often than not, they are. That's why I'm asking, like, what are we going to get from the Falcons? You know what to expect with Josh Allen and Keon
That's true.
Coleman, Dalton Kincaid. You know what you're going to get from those guys. What are you going to get from Michael Penix, Drake London, Kyle Pitts? You don't know what you're going to get from him. Like, doesn't mean he's a bad player, but like, there's times where he has a quiet game, and there's times where he goes off. Like,
yeah.
So what are we at? Is the big question going into Monday night, because that Monday night game is going to be very fun to watch, but at the same time, it's like, are we going to get, or are we going to see Kirk Cousins? I'm just kidding. No, we're not going to.
One thing I want to say before I make my pick: fuck the NFL for doing 2 Monday Night Football games.
100%. No, dude. Why?
Why?
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this, NFL?
Because why? Because we want to entertain the fans.
No,
guess what? I'd rather have 2 Sunday night games.
I would rather have a Saturday night game and a Sunday night game and a Monday night game, or a Wednesday night game or something. Don't give me 2 Monday night games.
I do not want 2 Sunday night games.
Me neither. Some of us have work in the morning, man. We're waking up at 4:30 in the morning, and we got a game starting at 8:15 on Monday.
Yeah, no, pass.
All right, I got Bills. I got Bills.
Losing.
Again, tough game for the Falcons. Like I said, they could win. It really depends on their offense.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like it's like the one thing that's really tough with offense in the NFL is staying consistent. Unless you're.
Yeah, that's what I need to see at this point. And it's not a I don't believe. It's a I want to see it more than just 1 week. We saw glimpses of it week 2, I think it was, and then week 3 you had the Panthers where you kind of shit the bed. Then week 4 you explode.
They didn't do nothing. They did shit the bed. They did nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they didn't even shit.
they had a goose egg.
Yeah, goose egg. Yeah, false alarm on the shit. It was just a goose egg. It's tough though. I mean, that's a tough football team they're about to go against. So if they want to prove to everybody that they have a shot to make the playoff, if they want to show everybody that they're not the same old Falcons and they're going to win more than 7 games this year, they got to go out there and win against the Bills on primetime television.
100%, yeah. 100%. Like, and then you really want to announce, like, hey, we could be something. You have the Bills coming to town, you beat them?
Yeah.
That's a statement win.
They get the advantage of it's in Atlanta. That's an advantage to them. But again, the only thing I don't like about this is the fact that Josh Allen is coming off a loss.
Yeah. The 100%, because at that point it's like, good luck.
Yeah, it's like that's why the Chiefs are coming off a loss and going to play the Lions in Kansas City. That's why I was hesitant to pick the Lions, because it's like, okay, Kansas City's offense was rolling. They might be even more excited to play because they're coming, like, more hungry, I should say, because they just came off a loss.
Yeah, absolutely. And if both of these guys weren't coming off of losses, I think there'd be like less. I think there'd be still more pressure, because it's just like, oh, they're feeling good about themselves, But now it's like how they both lost is why these games are different.
Yeah.
Field goal, like the field goal with Josh Allen and like in the Bills, and then the Jaguars march down the field and beat Mahomes. Normally it's always Mahomes with the last minute wins. Oh, hey, you don't like it so much, do you? Now I'm sure Patrick Mahomes is like, let's get to Sunday night so I can kick some ass.
Absolutely. And then the last game of the week.
Last but certainly not least.
Definitely not. This is actually a good game. Got the number 1 overall pick and the number 2 overall pick. Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams. And
You know,
the Bears have kind of started showing out a little bit.
yeah, I like to see. You know what's interesting about the Bears is like when Caleb Williams isn't taking all these sacks, they're not half bad.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Ben Johnson back there calling plays, trying to make something out of Caleb. They're trying to do what Jaden Daniels did last year, but this year with Caleb. They surround him with these weapons. They kind of work on the defense a little bit. They completely rebuilt the offensive line.
We have Roma Dunze and you have DJ Moore. You know,
Luther
like
Burden they drafted,
er,
and they
like
drafted the tight end Loveland, and they have Cole
yeah,
Kmet.
yeah, like and you have those weapons, and then you see what happened. Like last year, what did he get? Like sacked how many times? Like
A
60
lot.
something.
Yeah, it was most in the
Like
NFL.
and when you protect your quarterback, you show that you can win these games. And sometimes it is scheme. Sometimes it is like is he a system quarterback? Sometimes it is stuff like that. But certain talents aren't like that, where it's like you can put me in a system, I'm gonna thrive. And I think with Caleb Williams, now you have a good offensive minded head coach, and you've had too many coordinators over the past few years, like too many coaches, too many coordinators. Like you got to let him develop here, and I think that's what they're doing now. Is like look what happened when you protected him. All of a sudden, what do you throw 4 touchdown passes?
Yeah, I think yeah, he had a good game.
And and what he had no picks. Like, huh? Look what you do when you can get right with them. Look what the command like they said. Look what the Commanders did with Jaden Daniels.
I know that.
Offensive line, weapons, and look what you went to an NFC Championship game. Now your defense didn't. Now your defense didn't go to an NFC Championship game. Your offense went to an NFC Championship game. Your defense did not. Your defense took the week off and then went to and they went on a vacation. They were like, we didn't think we got this far.
Yeah, when Caleb Williams played Las Vegas, he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's only got 2 interceptions on the year in 4 games.
Yeah, but it was the week before that.
Yeah, the week before that, 4 touchdowns against Dallas, won
Yeah.
31-14.
Look at, but how many times has he been sacked this year? I don't know if you got the number on that.
7,
And how many? What, in 5 games?
4. They had a bye.
Oh, okay. So 2 sacks a game,
Yeah.
which isn't bad.
I
Not
mean,
great.
compared to last year, though, it's tremendous.
6 sacks, 4 sacks a game. Yeah, like
Yeah. He had like 58, 60, something like that.
So I'm excited to see Caleb Williams progress because, like I said, it's not him. It's the fact of like, hey, like, get you the right offensive mind head coach, get you the right people, right system around you, and you're gonna thrive. Now with Jaden Daniels, that's a whole different story. Jaden Daniels
Mm.
is a talent. So
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you have winning?
I got the Commanders. I think it's gonna be like a 27-20 type game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be low scoring, even though they both have the QBs. I think it's going to be. I'm going to go with the Commanders too.
I got the Commanders only because I think they're just a better team overall, and I think,
Yeah.
and that's why I also don't think that the Bears are going to go down that difficult either, or that easy either. I don't think they're going to just we're down 10-0, it's over. Like I think they're good. I think with the Bears, if they keep protecting Caleb Williams, especially with how it's like, for example, against the Cowboys, for example, if he does that, let's say he does that this week.
Yeah.
Like at that point, you're like, is Caleb Williams real deal here?
Yeah. And I
So
mean, you gotta know your answer because he's coming up. He's eligible for a contract extension coming up.
yeah, so it's gonna be interesting.
This is year
So I'm
2,
excited.
year 3, year 2.
You too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so he's got another year before he's eligible, but still, I mean, now's the time to know. Ben Johnson, your head coach, you got to be able to throw the football.
Oh yeah, I mean Jared Goff would agree with you.
Yep.
Or chase you down because Jared Goff had to chase down Ben Johnson. But
yeah, so I think we got through all of them, right? That was all the games.
Yeah. It would all. I think we did pretty well.
Did you pick all the same that you did for your work thing? So we'll see. We'll be able to keep in real time.
I think I really just check. Let me see if I probably did. So yeah, I picked Indy, I picked Jacksonville, I picked the Chargers, Pittsburgh, Tampa, Vegas. I picked Green Bay, I picked New England. Yeah, essentially, yeah.
I'm
So
excited for this weekend because I think this weekend will really give us an idea of um, how teams are really shaken up, like who's contending, who's not. I think this weekend's a really good weekend for it. If somebody like,
unless there's so many like upsets like there were last weekend, I ain't win shit.
well, that's going to tell me if a team's real or not. If they're getting upset, if we go out there and we can beat Seattle or at least keep it close to where it's like a 2-3 point game, I'll be happy. If Pittsburgh goes out there and beats their division, I will. They should be the favorite to win the division if they beat the Browns this weekend.
You want a prediction? I think the Jags win handedly. I'm not gonna say they dominate, but I don't think it's gonna be a one possession game.
I hope after this past week against the Chiefs that we figured it out on offense, because that's been our issue. We just haven't clicked. And I think after what we just did against Kansas City, I think we should have a chance to click.
I would love to see it. I would love to see you guys win. I would love to see the Steelers win. Like I said, I would handedly. I would love to see, but it's going to be up to Tomlin on that one. So
I think this weekend between 49ers and Buccaneers is going to tell us about both teams. If Buccaneers go out there and show out and destroy the 49ers, everybody's going to know that Tampa Bay is legit. If 49ers go out there and beat the Bucs, you better believe everybody's going to know they're legit. With all those injuries,
it's always going to be different about the score, because like if it's like 27-7, let's say however you want to flip it, yeah, for real. But like 24-27, game-winning kick, game-blocking kick, whatever.
If Giants somehow beat the Eagles, you better believe there's going to be some questions.
I think Jackson Dart's for real.
That might be.
If Jackson Dart goes like you said, at home and beats Jalen Hurts, Saquon, and AJ Brown, there will be pandemonium in Philly.
After the Chargers just lost, if they go out there and lose to the Dolphins somehow, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if these teams if this happens, there's got to be some questions. Conversations, exactly.
And questions, both.
If Atlanta goes out there and beats the Bills, there's going to be concerns about the Bills.
Well, yeah, because it's just like you were supposed to win these games all of a sudden.
And then there's going to be a conversation who's going to win the NFC South if Atlanta goes out there and beats Buffalo, even though they have the lead.
So yeah.
If the Chiefs go out there and get destroyed by the Lions, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Because the Lions have beat up on some bad teams. Lions, they're 4-1, obviously. They beat the Bengals and they beat the Browns. And they beat the Ravens. That was a decent win at the time because they were healthy. And they beat the Bears by a lot, but they lost to the Packers. So they lose to a good team like the Chiefs, then you're like, oh, wait, maybe the Lions aren't for real.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out a lot.
We're not halfway through the season. We're a quarter of the way through the season. So yeah this is definitely gonna. If we won't have all the answers, but we'll have a clearer idea of the way the season might end up.
Yeah.
So. Well, this was a good episode. This was 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Wow.
This is a record.
I mean, I could talk football.
I could too. And I think it'd be a good idea to do this after the Monday game, or even before the Monday game, but after the Sunday slate of games.
We can do this week. We can do this every week.
Cool. Yeah, let's plan for that.
We went to every Sunday, after at 7, before the Sunday night football games.
Hell yeah.
Or do you want to do after the whole week's done, or a Tuesday?
I thought about that. I think probably what we'll do is I haven't made my schedule for next week, so I need to see what my schedule looks like. But I'm assuming yours is kind of the same all the time.
Okay. 1,000,000%.
Cool.
I work to And it was so funny because I looked at one of my coworkers, and I'm like, his name is Gene. I go, I never thought I'd watch the sunset with you.
Yeah, when you wake up when it's dark and you watch the sunset on a work shift, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I worked from 5:30. I think it was 5:30 or 5. I think it was 5 to 8 o'clock.
Damn. That's
So that
about
was
that. That's kind of what I do. Like today I got off early, but yesterday I worked 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I was
oh
there
yeah, that's
like
perfect.
all day. But again, I'm off tomorrow because of it.
Oh, dog
So
days.
yeah, I'd work 3 long days like that if I could have 4 days off all the time.
100%, absolutely.
I would do 2 20-hour shifts if it meant I could have 5 days off.
Oh,
Like maybe I'll be a firefighter. Do the 24 on, 24 off, whatever.
there's something like that, something crazy like that.
But all right, everybody that has watched this, I'm gonna upload this in the morning.
Okay,
Um,
that's fine.
everybody that has watched up to this point, thank you very much. I don't know why I got an alfalfa hair right there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody that's watched up until this point, thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions for what you want us to talk about on the next one, leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe. We will be coming. We will have this uploaded by Tuesday of next. Like the next one will be by Tuesday of next week. So
Okay.
whether we do it Monday or Tuesday, that'll be to be determined. But if you follow me on Twitter at it's END, I will post when I post. So Roman, anything else?
Hey, no, but Instagram is Roman.31901. So,
Awesome. Big Steelers
yeah, that's.
fan. So if you're a Steelers fan, you're gonna want to come around. So
Oh yeah, like it was definitely. I'm very critical about my Steelers, and I'm sure you're critical about your Jaguars. So.
absolutely, I am biased at times, but at the same time, I consider myself a real fan. Like a not. I'm biased at times, but I'm realistic with my expectations and stuff.
Oh yeah, like for example, I manage expectations. Like for example, like with Ben, I'm like I know that we're not gonna win every game with Ben, but do I mean we're gonna get blown out or lose? No. Same thing with Rodgers. Do I think we're gonna always get blown out or lose? No, I just think that there's a chance, always a fighting chance.
Mhm.
But when I have Mason Rudolph, I know it's over. When Skylar Thompson is my quarterback, I know it's over.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything about. I don't want to hear anything about preseason. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So.
But thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next one. Like and subscribe. Oh, I hit the wrong button.